How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
Eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital.
That's difficult to answer.
this the end? There's a noise inside my head of crying people facing death. Is this the end? Is this the end? I'm burning in the dystopia. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the dystopia. This is the final genocide. What have we done to the world? What have we done to the world? I'm burning in the dystopia. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the dystopia. This is the final
Who the fuck is Karlyn? She's just some sweet lady. She's like in a knitting. She does like a knitting stream. She's like a knitting YouTuber. She does knitting.
Can we grow up a little bit and
Alt
not
Girl
be
sent $200.
retarded?
Have you
Please.
seen the work of Karlyn Borysenko? Anti-commie cult leader and is obsessed with looking at what actual far-left communists are talking about and organizing today, infiltrating them. They infiltrated the universities, schools, media. She has the receipts to back it up. Primary source evidence. Infestation is dire and she calls Republicans idiots eating slop. Agree.
Thank you for the big super chat. Yeah, oh, I know Carlin B. She's solid. She's funny. I
The
like
great
her.
noticer sent 200.
Literally,
So
not
it's,
Ian.
it's not because I haven't dangled my junk into the combat zone on purpose to get some camera footage, but that's the big part of what's the
Is that
problem.
what you call reporting?
Go
and live
under if
streaming?
you're going to do it.
Yeah,
go
seriously.
undercover. Otherwise, you're wearing a hunk of meat in a lion's den. Nick Shirley, I love you. Take care of yourself, man. Karlyn Borysenko went undercover. Do stuff like that. Like if you want to expose this thing, don't pariah.
But
Please.
Ian, here's and I agree with you to an extent.
All right. It's Friday, guys. It's Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Who's ready to go infiltrate the left? Who is excited about our little adventure tomorrow? Infiltrating the left. One in the chat if you are excited to go to a No Kings protest tomorrow. Two in the chat if you're like, Karlyn, this is a really stupid idea and I'm not getting out of bed to go to a fucking No Kings protest. Three in the chat if you don't care either way, I guess. One in the chat if you're excited to go to a No Kings protest tomorrow. Two in the chat if you're like, this is retarded and I'm not doing it. Three in the chat if you just don't care either way. Ooh, lots of ones. Lots of ones. Lots of ones. Lots of ones. You know, I hope everyone that is putting one in the chat right now has taken the time to watch the Infiltrating the Left training that is currently on my Substack. You can also find it on YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, decodetheleft.com, leftwingstudies.com. You can find that training pretty much wherever you want to look, but I think the Substack is the easiest. It's right on the homepage. You can find the video there. And this is a training that I gave last Sunday to basically try to develop a team of volunteers all over the country that are going to go to a No Kings protest in your area, preferably in a major city. But if you're not near a major city, that's cool. Just go to whatever is near you that you can get to. And what we are going to be doing tomorrow as a community of volunteers, I think probably the largest volunteer group that's ever done this. So that's actually really effing cool. What we are going to do as a community of volunteers is we are going to go, we are going to observe, we are going to document what groups show up at this protest. We are going to collect as much propaganda as we can from flyers, pamphlets, zines. We are going to take pictures of stickers and graffiti if we see those around. We are going to do our very best to blend into the crowd and to try to document what is going on. We are not disrupting. We are not agitating. No, you don't need to RSVP to go. We are not causing problems. We are not going to debate anyone. We are not going to fight with anyone. We're not going to do any of that shit. There may be people at the No Kings protest doing that tomorrow. It's not going to be people from my community. And if you do that, I disavow you and I don't want anything to do with it, because our position here, I'll take a look at that in a second. When I get a chance, Valkyrie. Our position here is that we are not trying to be part of the story. We are documenting the story. We are observing them. We are detached observers. You have to think of this as the left is in a giant observatory. They're in like a giant fucking snow globe. You guys remember that what wasn't there a show that came out like several years ago about like a land in a snow globe or something like that? It was some sort of dystopian thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm making that up. That would be a good movie if anyway, that might even be the premise of Flat Earth. I don't even know. Anyway, so what you have to do is you have to think of the left as in they're like a giant snow globe. We are observing them. We are on the outside observing them. Even when we are walking amongst them in the crowd, we are not of Snowpiercer. Good reference. We are not of the left. We are not part of the left. We are not part of the story. We are Truman Show. That's also a good reference. We are detached from the story. We are observing the story. We are documenting the story. That is what we are doing here. We are going to collect intel from all over the country about what groups are active where, what propaganda they're handing out, what is being actually done in the real world on the left. And it's not as though the No Kings protest is a far left protest. It is not. That is why I selected this event. I want to give people the opportunity who have never done something like this before. You have never been around not even a far left group. You have maybe even never even gone to a protest before. There are so many people that have never even gone to a protest before. I want to give people the opportunity to experience being in a lefty environment at a protest or a rally or a meeting or whatever in a way that you are not going to be in any danger. Because the No Kings protest is a progressive protest, they have a high emphasis on non-violence. You are not going to be in any danger if you go to an event like this and just keep to yourself and just kind of look around at what's going on and like write down the names of the different groups or just take pictures subtly on your phone. As long as you're not bothering anyone and you're not causing problems, you will not be in danger at this protest. Because if someone says something to you, which probably there's like a very, very minuscule chance of that happening, if you're just keeping to yourself, there is a very minuscule chance that anyone is going to know that you're out of place. But if someone says something to you, you can just say something like, I just never been to one of these things before. Then I just like, I don't know, man. I'm just really uncomfortable with this war in Iran bullshit. Like, just like act like a total fucking noob and it's going to get smooth over right away. This is not a dangerous environment to go into, but there will be far left groups there. I'm not saying there's going to be far left groups at every single of the 3,000 plus events that are going to be happening across the country tomorrow. I'm not saying there's going to be far left groups at every single one of them. But if you are in a major American city or you are going to something in a major American city, it is extremely likely that there will be far left groups there. If you are going to a very large protest in a blue area, it is extremely likely that there will be far left groups there. If you are going to a protest in a place like we've talked about, like Atlanta or Asheville, North Carolina, where there's more leftists than you might think, or in Boston or in Washington, D.C. for sure, or in New York City or in Chicago or in Minneapolis. Minneapolis is going to be the flagship event. We do have people going in Minneapolis. So that's definitely going to be relevant. In Milwaukee, in Seattle, in Portland, in Los Angeles, in San Francisco Bay Area, San Francisco, in San Diego, in Austin, Texas, in like any of these areas, you are going to have far left groups show up. And yes, even in Florida, yes, we've actually heard them talk about it in Florida. So no. You need to stop talking right now. The things that you're saying in the chat are absurd and not relevant. If you are going and keeping to yourself and not causing problems, there is no reason for them to call you a Nazi. And I want to be really fucking clear. Because I don't recognize you. Actually, let me look at your channel history real quick. Hang on. Have you ever even been on this channel before? I don't recognize you. You were here yesterday, it looks like. Okay, so you are brand new here. Let me be very fucking clear to you, bro. If you go to these protests and you cause problems and you engage with people or you're disruptive, you are not part of this community. You are not fucking welcome here. There should be no fucking reason for them to call you a Nazi. We are not going to counter protest. Okay, so then you better shut the fuck up and listen. We are not going to counter protest. We are not going to cause problems. We are not going to agitate. And if you ever disobey me and argue with me again in my own chat, you watch how fast I ban your ass from this channel and we deport you immediately. What did I just say to you? What did I just say? Watch this instructional video just for you. Are you paying attention? Pay attention.
You take your top lip and connect it to your bottom lip, you will shut the fuck up. Sometimes shutting the fuck up is the best thing you can do.
Shut the fuck up. Okay, so now what's going to happen, because you haven't shut the fuck up like you've been told to several times, you're going to get put in a 5-minute timeout. It's time for you to stop talking and start listening. And if you come back and you whine and complain and you continue being disruptive in my chat, you're going to get permanently banned from the channel. Also, welcome back, Jen. W's Jen on the channel membership. Actually, that leads me to our channel membership goal for today. I would love to bring 100 new people into the channel today. That would be pretty rad if you guys want to support the work I'm doing and make sure I have the funding to be able to do this stuff. One of the best ways you can do it is by gifting channel memberships. That welcomes more people into the community. That welcomes more people into spy stream infiltrations. And we do have at least one spy stream next week, probably several spy streams next week, if I'm being honest about it. So if you want to support the work I'm doing and make me real happy, let's bring in 100 new members of the channel today. And that would be rad. You can also send in super chats, become a paying supporter on my Substack. All of those really do help me out. Jen, thanks so much for being a member of the channel for 20 months. Safety first, observation second, but you should be able to balance both equally. Yes. If you're just observing and you're not causing problems, you're not going to be in any trouble. They're not even going to know that you're there. Gigalago. Thank you. W's for Gigalago. We appreciate it. Thank you. Already up to 2. So guys, if you want to join us for the No Kings infiltration tomorrow, okay, so what we're going to be doing is we are going to be going to the protests. We are going to be collecting propaganda. We are going to be seeing what far left groups are there. We're going to be documenting stuff. And I have a team of dozens of people already. We're going to have people all over the country, and it's going to be fucking awesome. I have dozens of people already signed up to do this. And if you want to join us, what you need to do is watch the Infiltrating the Left video, and you have to follow the very clear instructions in the video. Because you don't have to work with me to go to a No Kings protest. You can go to a No Kings protest on your own. But if you want to be on my team, if you want to be part of the team of volunteers, then you have got to watch this video and you've got to follow instructions. And so this is like a minimum bar that I'm setting. Dozens of people have done that already, and I'm actually thrilled with the turnout. I will be replying to everyone who follows the instructions in the video at some point tonight. It might be later tonight, but I will be replying to you at some point tonight. I will then be inviting you into the Center for Left-Wing Studies Discord. The Center for Left-Wing Studies Discord is going to be really important because that is where you are going to report back on what you saw at the protest. So if you took pictures, if you collected propaganda, if you even just have a list of organizations that were showing up at the event, you need to report back and send us what you collected. Now, for some of you might come back with a fuck ton of propaganda. You might have a fuck ton of zines and pamphlets and newspapers. If that's the case, what I'm going to probably have you do is just snap a simple photo of the cover of whatever you got and just post that in the Discord. So it's not too labor intensive. I'm not asking you to scan the whole thing because it might be a lot of stuff, but just snapping a photo and posting it in. So that's what we're going to be doing. If you have photos, I want to see the photos. If you have video, I want to see the video. If you have lists of organizations, I want to see that. If you have zines, pamphlets, propaganda, I want to see that. If I can't find the digital copy of it online, I might ask you to take photos of the whole thing so we can all see it. But we are basically going to collect a fuck ton of this stuff from all over the country. We're going to collect a fuck ton of intelligence from all over the country. And then we are going to use that intelligence to create a map of the leftist groups all over the country who were active at the No Kings protest. This is going to be a big deal, guys. If we can pull this off, this will be probably the most up-to-date, relevant map that we have of active groups on the modern activist left. No one else has this data. I've been trying to figure out a way to map the modern left for over a fucking year. Actually, for even longer than that, but like really kind of thinking about it for over a year, trying a bunch of stuff, knowing what worked, knowing a lot of shit that doesn't work. I'll tell you that, a lot of fucking shit that doesn't work. We have spreadsheets upon spreadsheets upon spreadsheets of data. You don't even know. You have no idea how many fucking spreadsheets Reagan has created on her own. We have so much information about the far left that it is almost an overwhelming prospect to try to map the whole thing out right. And you don't understand this until you go down the rabbit hole. There are so many fucking organizations, and there's so much research, and there's so much data. It is overwhelming to an almost impossible degree. And I'm not using AI for this stuff. I'll use AI for some things, but I'm not just dumping all this shit into AI and telling AI to figure it out, because I want a high degree of accuracy with this project. But if we can maybe tighten our framework for what we are including in the map of the modern activist left, just to get started, if we can create, the No Kings protest has the potential to be the largest single-day protest in American history. Do not let any conservative pundit or any conservative commentator tell you, this is stupid, the left is failing, no, nothing ever. Do not listen to any of them. This has the potential to be the largest single-day protest in American history. That is a big deal. What that means is there will be a ton of active leftist groups at this event. There will be normie Democrat and liberal groups. There will be progressive groups. There will be DSA type, Working Families Party, Democratic Socialists of America type groups. And there will be far left revolutionary groups. You will have groups across literally the entire leftist spectrum at this event. And if we can even, if you do nothing else at the No Kings protest, guys, if you do nothing else, make a list of every single group you see. If someone's handing out a pamphlet, you either take that pamphlet so you can document that you pick that pamphlet up from them, or you take a picture of them real quick, or you open your notes on your phone and you get a notebook, like an old-fashioned fucking notebook. You make a list of the organizations at this event at a bare minimum. If the only thing you come back with is, here is a list of organizations that were at this event in this city, that is so fucking huge, I cannot even tell you. Because that will allow us to have an almost immediate framework for a map of the lefty groups that are active in that geographic area. different groups are going to be active in different geographic areas. We are also going to be able to see the groups that are active all over the country in different areas. We are also going to be able to see the groups that are more regional. This is going to be so helpful. I cannot even tell you guys how much of a big deal this is. So the only thing you do, if the only thing you do is get a list of the organizations that are at the No Kings protest in your area, and I am trusting everyone. I cannot emphasize this enough. Guys, you've got to be a little bit detail-oriented on this. You have got to be detail-oriented. The names of the groups matter. The proper names of the groups matter because a lot of lefty groups have very similar names. And so there's no shorthand. Write down the full name of the group because you might not know who they are, but chances are I probably do. And so they're just like, you have got to be detail oriented. You got to be you have to teach yourself to be autistic. I have had to I am not autistic naturally. I may be married to an autist. I am not naturally autistic. I have had to learn to be autistic in doing this work. It will force you to be autistic, okay? So get a list of the groups. Get a list of every organization you see. If you're unsure, write it the fuck down, okay? We can deal with all this and sort through all of it later. If you are also able to collect propaganda, by that I mean pamphlets, flyers, zines, stickers, anything they are handing out for free, what I need you to do is bring a giant bag, or like just bring a bag, like a tote bag, like a fucking average size tote bag or a backpack or whatever. You are going to want to bring a bag, especially if you're in a big city, because there's the potential that you could collect. I mean, I have come back from events like this literally with piles of propaganda this high. I have absolutely come back from more than one event like this with a pile this fucking hot, with a tote bag full, literally stuffed to the brim. That's not going to be the case in every single city. That's not going to be the case at every single event. But for some of you, you're also going to be able to come back with a fuck ton of propaganda. If someone hands you something, just take it and say thank you and put it in your bag. And don't try to evaluate it. Don't try to look at all of it. But this is especially true. You got to keep an eye out because there could be some weird queer shit around kids. If you see anything involving kids, especially, or organizations that work with kids at this protest, please get whatever they will give you for free. I just want to remind people, as I'm giving you this master class in infiltrating the left, if you appreciate the work I'm doing, can we get some channel membership donations, please? Is anyone else teaching you to do this shit on the internet? Is anyone else amassing a group of dozens of volunteers all over the country to go infiltrate the No Kings event tomorrow and to gather intel and to bring that back to make a map of the modern activist left? Is anyone else doing this shit? No. No one else is. If you guys appreciate what I'm doing and you want to see me keep doing it, please feel free to send in some channel memberships. We have a lofty goal of 100 channel memberships on this stream, and we're 2% of the way there, guys. Should I stop the infiltration lesson for a moment and just see? I can just end the stream and go home. Like I am home, I guess, but I can go hang out. I don't need to be doing a master class on the internet at 5 o'clock on a Friday. Maybe I got other shit to do. Maybe I could go do that. People don't appreciate this? We'll see. Tolkien fan, 5 channel memberships. W's Tolkien fan in the chat. Thank you. That's 5. Let's see. Let's see how many people appreciate this. One person. I got one person who appreciates it. Dan. W's Dan. Channel membership. Guys, if you might think that one channel membership doesn't matter. One channel membership does matter, because if literally every single person watching on YouTube right now sent in one channel membership, we would already meet the goal. It's $5, guys. $5. W's to Anthony with a channel membership. Really do appreciate that. Thank you, Anthony. All right, that's 2 more. That's 2 more. Oh, we got Latrina's in with a channel membership. W Latrina. We got Dimensional Danny with a channel membership. W's Dimensional Danny. Thank you, guys. All right, that's 4. I just got another one. I just got to do math real quick, though, before I forget. I gotta do math. I gotta let the math go. Okay. W's Grandma Day. Thank you for the gifted channel membership. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Okay, guys, we're up to 12. Hey, can we hit 25 before I continue? Do you guys want me to continue? Do you guys want to do this? Do you guys want to infiltrate them? Do you guys want me to continue? Maybe not. Maybe we really aren't that into infiltrating the No Kings protest. Maybe I misjudged the situation. Maybe I misjudged the situation. Okay. All right. Do you guys want to do the stream today? I got a whole bunch of stuff to watch, but I can just watch it on my own. I don't actually need to be live on the internet. W's, Milo, gifted channel member. See, now we're cooking, guys. Now we're cooking. W, Sedan, 5 gifted channel memberships. W's, Barrel, 5 gifted channel memberships. That's 11. That's 11 more. That brings us up to 23. Can we get 2 more? Can we get 2 more? Can we get 2 more? Gonna be patient like a teacher. I got a whole bunch of good shit to watch today, too. I don't just have No King stuff to watch today. I've got other stuff to watch today, too. Dumb phone, W's. One more to the goal, guys. One more. One more. Because potentially the way things are going, I might not get any more channel memberships for the entire rest of the stream. So I'm going to make sure I at least get 25% of the way to the fucking goal if I'm going to keep going. Yo, Goro over on Rumble. Goro W's on Rumble. Goro's with 5. And we got Julie in like a champion over on YouTube. Not only did we hit 25, we actually hit 30. You guys rock. Thank you so much. All right. I will now continue. Thank you for indulging me. All right. So we're going to the No Kings protest tomorrow. I've given you an overview of what we're going to do with this data. I've given you an explanation for what I want you to do. I want you to dress fucking normally. Dress normally. Go to the protest. Hey, welcome, Dan, to the cult. We appreciate you. Do not try to start fights with anyone. Do not agitate anyone. Do not debate anyone. We are not part of the story. We are documenting the story. Make a list of as many organizations as you can spot, either on your phone or take pictures, however you want to do it, whatever works best for you. Even get a notebook or something. I don't really know. But like, do it in whatever way works best for you. Collect as much propaganda as you can. Don't start shit with anyone. Be safe. If you want to know how to get into my volunteer group, the instructions for getting into the volunteer group are in the Infiltrating the Left training. So you have to watch the training in order to get the instructions, in order to get into the volunteer group in the Discord. I'm going to tell you about that in a second. W's Dan, thank you for the gifted channel membership. You rule, bro. That's like 3 gifted channel memberships and you join the channel. That's rad. So for those of you who have followed the instructions in the video and you have emailed me, I am going to be responding back to you tonight with a link to the Center for Left-Wing Studies Discord. If you don't have a Discord account, you need to create one. It's just where we're doing it. There will be instructions in the Discord on how to post the information from the No Kings protest. I cannot emphasize this enough. Do not post anything until you are home from the protest. I'm going to say this again. Do not post anything in the Discord until you are already home from the No Kings protest. This is extremely important. You are not going to impress me if you ignore this instruction. I do not want people posting from the event that they are at because we have to make the assumption that people on the left are trying to infiltrate the Discord to get info on where everyone is. We have to make that assumption. Now, after the protest, when you are at home, you can then post the information from the event and we will have it archived, and you will not have to worry about anyone finding you when you are at the event. Okay? That is what we're going to do. Now, there's nothing in the Center for Left-Wing Studies Discord that is secret information. So leftists trying to get in there, like, I truly don't care if they're in there, but I care about you guys protecting your own safety, and just all you have to do, zip it. Keep your mouth shut until you're already home from the protest, and that will be very helpful. Hey, thanks, Survival Raccoon, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. So you will be getting, if you follow the instructions in the video, you will get the link to the Discord tonight. If you email me after tonight, you probably will not get a link until tomorrow or Sunday. And that just depends on some other stuff going on, all right? So anyone that follows the instructions in the video and contacts me tonight following the instructions that I gave you, I will get back to you tonight with a link to the Discord. Yes, it is a different Discord. The Center for Left-Wing Studies is its own Discord because we have to keep everything separate. No, okay, I cannot emphasize this. Well, I did say you could DM me, so that's okay. Yeah, I got your DM, so that's fine. I will be responding to people who DM me as well. That's totally fine. But I cannot emphasize this enough. You gotta follow the instructions in the video. If you don't follow the instructions in the video, you don't get to be on the team. Okay, this is like a bar for me knowing who can follow basic instructions and who can't. So that's what we're gonna do, guys. That's what we're going to do. And today, we're going to be doing a couple different things today. We're going to be doing a couple different things. Oh, by the way, programming note. Tomorrow, I am currently planning, we will be doing a Socialism Saturday tomorrow. We will be doing a debrief of the No Kings protest tomorrow. It will probably need to be delayed by a couple hours for reasons, okay? So as of right now, I am planning on starting Socialism Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. There is an outside chance that I may be able to start it earlier. It all depends on things. There is also an outside chance that I will have to start it later, also depending on things. I will at some point start Socialism Saturday. I will at some point do it, but it all depends on what time I get home for reasons, okay? So I just wanted to do that programming note just so people understand. I'm currently planning on starting it at 8 p.m., but who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? Thanks, Jem, for the super chat. Dr. K, this may sound a bit profound, but when you were talking about dressing normally tomorrow, make sure no one wears any of the merch. Yeah, okay, yes. No one should be wearing my merchandise to the protest tomorrow. Guys, the consternation that has been caused over what to wear to the protest tomorrow, you guys are going to feel so stupid. You guys are going to feel silly. All of you that have been, no, I'm in Eastern Time. All of you that have been freaking the fuck out about the No Kings protest, and you're like, what do I wear? What do I wear? People have been like messaging me, asking me weird questions. Like some people ask me, like, do we wear fake piercings and tattoos? Like, no. See, this is the type of conservative retardation we don't allow here, bro. This is literally the type of retardation that we do not allow here. No, retard. No. Not everyone on the left dyes their hair. Not everyone on the left wears a nose ring. No. If you do this, you are going to look like a retard and they're not going to talk to you and give you information. I cannot emphasize this enough, guys. Wear normal fucking clothes. Wear a plain fucking t-shirt with no symbols on it. Wear a plain jacket. You do not dress in all black unless that's something you would do normally. Like, and you guys are gonna go to this protest and you're gonna be like, what the fuck was I even freaking out about? I was being so fucking stupid. We are not going in a costume. Okay? Dress normally. No political symbols. No religious symbols. None of my merch. Don't fuck around. We are trying to blend in. We are not trying to stand out. We are not engaging in confrontation. We are not making a political statement. We are not fucking proselytizing. If any of you come back and you fucking tell me that you tried to proselytize to people, I'm fucking permanently banning you. I can't even deal with this shit. Like just behave normally. Okay. Well, they have, actually. They have, and they have, for some reason, are freaking out. But it's just, you know what? Like, listen, it's normal to be nervous your first time. It is normal to be nervous your first time. But don't wear all fucking black. Don't dye your fucking hair. Don't do some stupid fake tattoo thing. Don't get fake piercings. Just wear fucking normal clothes. You don't need to disguise yourself. You're not me. And by you're not me, I mean you don't have your face all over the fucking internet being an anti-communist talking about infiltrating the left, okay? You are not me. They don't know who you are. Just blend in. If anyone talks to you, say something like, oh my God, like, I just don't know about this war stuff. And I don't know, man. Just say basic. And honestly, a lot of you do have misgivings about the war. Talk to them about that. A lot of you do have misgivings about us, about Israel. Talk to them about that. A lot of us fucking hate Trump. Talk to them about that. Talk about, maybe not give them the reasons that you dislike Trump. Don't go in there and say Trump's not doing mass deportations. Fuck him. That's not what we're going to say. We're going to say Trump fucking sold us out to Israel to go to war with Iran. I'm completely anti-war. Stuff like that. Stuff that you have alignment on. Just talk about that. Jeans, t-shirt, sneakers, hoodie, jacket, backpack, tote bag. Guys are gonna be fucking like, I'm gonna have nightmares about the dress normally conversation. I swear to God, I'm literally gonna have fucking nightmares about this. It's traumatizing. What you guys are doing to me is fucking traumatizing. Hey, W's, welcome, Focus. Really appreciate you being a channel member. Really, really appreciate it. Up to 33. Rad. Okay. Sure, why not? If you want to. Like, who cares? Listen, like, there's gonna be liberals and progressives and Democrats there. If you want to bring a fucking Gucci bag, bring a fucking Gucci bag. It honestly doesn't, you're not dressing up. You're not being in an Antifa costume. If you were dressing up as Antifa, I would say maybe don't bring the Gucci bag if you are dressing up to infiltrate Antifa. I would not recommend bringing a Gucci bag to an anarchist book fair. That's not what I would recommend. But the No Kings protest, can you get away with it? Yeah, sure. Honestly, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Because it is a progressive protest. But if you were trying to infiltrate, like going to like an anarchist thing, do not, like, leave your Gucci at home and just bring a plain black backpack. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. Anyway, that is that. And I will be, again, contacting everyone that has followed the very clear and explicit instructions that I gave in this video. And I will be inviting you to the Center for Left-Wing Studies Discord. And that is where we will do our debrief and where you will post what you found in your area. And you will not do it until after the event. Do not do it. Now, if I really have my ducks in a row, which let's all cross our fingers that I do, tomorrow I am planning on posting a map of all the different people we have going to the events all over the country. And I'm just planning on posting the map as an image to say, here's where we are today. Now, that's not going to be personally identifiable to you. I'm not going to say we have this person in this city. That's not going to happen. What I am going to say is, here is the array of events that we will be going to today, just as a little teaser for people, because I know people are interested in that. That is information I want to share. And I think that that's good for people to see that there are so many people all over the country that are going to be going to these events. So that is what I will be doing and working on tonight. And hopefully that will be up tomorrow. And the thing about posting it in the morning and doing it with nondescript information, there's not shit the No Kings people can really do about it. There's not shit they can do about it. It's a flex. Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's a big fucking flex. Listen, man, we're doing the work. We're going to get some fucking credit for this shit. You guys are going to be fine, okay? I know that some of you are nervous. I was really nervous the first time I did something like this. You truly and sincerely do not have anything to be nervous about. If there is no reality in which I would have ever tried to do this if I thought that you would be in any danger doing this. There is no reality that I would have even attempted this. But again, and I cannot emphasize this enough, if you don't start trouble, if you aren't sticking your phone in people's faces, if you aren't trying to debate with people, if you aren't agitating, if you aren't preaching conservative or right-wing talking points, if you are just keeping to yourself and saying, I just don't know, I'm just really against this war bullshit. Like, if you are just doing that and letting them talk and collecting what they have and putting it in your bag, nothing is going to happen to you. They are not going to know who you are, okay? They're not going to know that you're kind of like gathering intelligence on them, but you have to be hyper mindful that this is not about debating. This is not about you. This is about blending in and collecting information. All right. Yeah, that's actually true. You might even see your neighbors there. That would be a little bit interesting, wouldn't it? That would be an interesting thing, wouldn't it? All right, guys, that is what we are doing tomorrow. And again, I will be going live for Socialism Saturday. Probably a little bit later tomorrow, but maybe earlier, but maybe even later than I think. So we will be doing Socialism Saturday tomorrow, but I don't know exactly when yet. And everyone's just going to have to play that by ear. And we're going to have to see how things go. Now, I've got a bunch of stuff I want to watch today. I've got some No King stuff. There is the organizing plan with Leah and Ezra. And Leah was very nice to retweet my entire Infiltrating the Left training out to her Twitter audience. And then Leah got called a Jew many times in her replies because I retweeted her and said, hey, thanks, Leah, for the promotion. We really appreciate it. Leah is one of the lead organizers, along with Ezra, of the entire event. So I do have their recording of their call. I think that they did this like yesterday. They just posted this 5 hours ago. So this is like the final fucking organizing call before the No Kings protest. I thought that we could watch that just to prepare ourselves. Jen, Project Let Them Speak, mixed with Project Give Them... Yes, exactly, Jen, exactly. Thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate it. So we have that, okay? We have that we're going to watch. I don't know who these people are, but they posted a video, don't show up to No Kings without this. And this was a day ago. And they kind of look like good progressives. And so I thought we could get that angle as well, just to check it out. So we have that. But then we have other content we can watch. We actually might just do a separate stream. We might do a separate stream later. Because there's some other stuff I want to talk about that isn't the No King stuff. I want to talk about this gay White House app that do not download this fucking White House app. Have you guys seen this? the Trump administration has been posting these. Maybe I'll just talk a little bit about it now. The Trump administration has been posting these cryptic fucking videos all week saying, has it launched yet? And it's like, it's so fucking stupid. And the big announcement is the White House has an app that you can put on your phone so that they can monitor everything on your fucking phone. Gee, that sounds like a great fucking idea. No one download this stupid fucking app. How retarded do you have to be to put an app from the government on your fucking phone? Like, what the dystopian fuck? Do not, there is a word. Someone said this in the replies. There is a word for the government, like creating an echo chamber of information that they approve of. It's called fucking propaganda, you stupid motherfuckers. Like, I'm not saying anyone in my chat is dumb enough to download this fucking app, but like, if you did download this app, can you just get it off your phone now? Like, can you please? I know you might have been excited, but like, it's like, don't fucking download this app. It's like having a small hat for your phone. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? How did they think this was a good and optical idea? Oh, I know. It's because Israel wants them to do this. We all know where this fucking idea came from. My God. But in better news, Owen Schroyer swears that there's aliens. And he saw the aliens last night and he did a whole video about it. And then he did another live stream later in which he was wearing a white t-shirt. And you guys know how I feel about how Owen looks in a white t-shirt. I mean, listen, this might have to be a whole stream on its own, is the Owen Schroyer alien stream. Because come on, there is nothing. Oh, you guys can't see this. There is like literally Owen, like, people need to tell Owen to wear this particular shirt. He needs to wear this shirt fucking every day. I don't know what it is. Like, it's a big Owen W. He looks incredibly hot in this fucking white t-shirt. So we might watch this later. He did a whole hour-long live stream. No, don't want to talk. I just want him to look like that. Like, we might watch this later because apparently Owen saw aliens last night, and I want to know more about the aliens. Yeah, Coke gets maybe. You know what? I'm not gonna judge. I'm on a keto crash starvation diet. Maybe Owen's doing a lot of. I don't know. Who is to judge? Who is to judge what anyone does? As long as he keeps wearing that fucking shirt, I don't care. I don't care. Also, Josh Hammer, who is an annoying Jew, apparently gave a speech at CPAC that was really annoying and no one liked it. And Owen also posted the full one of this. And then Mizakin had some dumb video he wanted us to watch from CPAC. And so I might want to watch that. And then also there's this liberal carrying a gun around saying he's going to shoot ICE. Have you guys seen this? Liberals are now carrying guns and saying fuck around, find out, and saying they're going to shoot ICE. So we've got some fun content we can watch, guys. We got some fun content that we can watch. I'm going to make a deal with you guys, okay? I'm going to make a deal. We're going to eat our vegetables. We're going to eat our vegetables. And we're going to watch the Indivisible training. Because we are professionals on the internet. We are infiltrating the No Kings protest tomorrow. We want to be as prepared as possible going into the event to know exactly what has been communicated out to the left. We want to know what the organizers are saying. All of this information will help you blend in when you are at the event and, quite frankly, make you feel more comfortable if you're nervous about going to this. So we are going to watch the fucking training and we're going to see what Leah and Ezra have to say. We're going to maybe check out this video about don't show up to No Kings without this to get another perspective. And that might give you helpful information on, like, here's the perspective of people who are actually into this stuff and what they're saying. Yes, we are okay. If you want to sign up, go to carlin.substack.com. watch the Infiltrating the Left's protest training, watch this training video, and follow the instructions. Welcome to the team. We are actually doing this. Yes, there's an entire training there. Go watch that. Follow the instructions. No. No, no, no. That's not what we're doing. No. Thanks, Kino. Lives with Freedom Pipe. But yeah, thanks. Yeah, thank you, Kino. I appreciate the super chat as always. No, we are not inviting Jake Lang. That is not going to happen. Okay, no, that's not what we're doing. Go watch the training, follow the instructions, and you can join us. Okay, let's get into it. We are eating our vegetables. We are doing our homework. If you guys want to donate channel memberships as we're making our way through this, I would really appreciate it. I would love to get to that 100 goal by the end of the day, or by the end of the stream, rather. That would be fucking rad. If you guys have questions as we're making our way through this video, please do let me know. I want to remind people we are watching a progressive video right now. We are not watching a far left video. This is not Antifa. This is not socialism. This is a progressive group. It is the group that is organized in the No Kings protest. And so we are watching that. Please do not put where you are in the chat. Please do not put where. Listen, no harm, no foul, I guess. But like, guys, again. Please assume that we are in public right now and everything that you say in the chat is public, and there might be leftist people in the chat watching. And so maybe don't put where you are going in the chat or anything that you don't want to be public, okay? Just saying. All right, let's get this party started. Let's see what happened. It's from earlier.
This is not going to be a sad discussion, folks. We are facing, of course, we're facing horrors beyond reckoning, but we're not here to doom scroll. We're not here to wallow. We're here to figure out how do we get shit done? How do we work together to fight back? And so we're not going to just focus on all the bad stuff. We're going to focus on courage, on community, on joy, because that is what we need right now. Right, Leah?
That's right. Today, we are going to cover the fight over DHS, the airport situation, which is getting out of control, the most up-to-date news on the largest protest in American history, No Kings 3, and we are going to be joined by a great friend of the movement, Ashley Henderson, who is a really central figure in weaving together movements right now. As always, we're going to open it up to live Q&A. Let's spread some courage, build some community, experience some joy together. Welcome to what.
So guys, Indivisible does an organizing call like every Thursday, I think. So this is their regular Thursday organizing call. They do this every week like clockwork in order to like update all the people on like what's going on and what they can do next and all this stuff. What they're going to accomplish? How about the largest single day protest in American history? The largest single day protest in American history is a pretty big deal. How about these people have prevented Donald Trump from doing mass deportations? How about the reason that there is so much chaos at the airports right now is literally these people and the unions they're organizing in? How about we still have 20 million illegals that came in under Joe Biden that will never be deported because of the success rate of these people and how influential they are? How about they're going to get 9 million people to come out and do something, and then they're going to get more of those people to come out the next time, and the next time after that, and the next time after that, all leading up to a mass general strike on May 1st, 2026, which will lead up to a big mass general strike on May 1st, 2028, in which they want to shut down the entire economy. And unlike you retards, the left plans this shit out years in advance to give people many opportunities to get involved in protests and actions and rallies and protests and actions and rallies and meetings and book clubs and all these things. Every single time you guys say, they're not really doing anything. And then they just keep winning and you just keep losing and you don't even know what the fuck happened. So that's what we're doing. Hey, look at this. Okay. Thanks. Don't dox yourself. I don't know why I have to say this, but thank you. Hey guys, check out the retard over on Rumble. Check out the retard over on Rumble real quick. Hang on. Oh, gifted a channel membership. Oh, that's just great. Hey, Dr. K, remember me? You called me a low IQ retard on X a few months back. I hope I run into you at the NH protest. Maybe your fat ass can say it to my face. Trust me, it's not the commies you should worry about. We're going to get a screenshot of this. Yeah, the Rumble channel memberships don't actually do anything, so you didn't actually win anything with the Rumble channel membership. But, you know, nice try, nice try. We're going to get a screenshot of that. And then you know what we're going to do? Boop. Quiet. 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 Does everyone hear the quiet? You can watch the video yesterday to find out more information on that. Okay, let's go back to our training before we are rudely interrupted by a conservative retard.
It's the plan. I am Leah Greenberg, co-executive director of Indivisible.
And I'm Ezra. I'm married to Leah Greenberg and also a co-executive director of Indivisible. March 28th is both the largest protest in American history and our 11th wedding anniversary. And Leah, before we celebrate both No Kings and the wedding anniversary and have the rest of this conversation with our guests, I think we've got two updates, right, that we want to cover before Ash comes on board. One is this, is No Kings, obviously. We'll get into it. The other is this whole debacle over TSA, ICE, and DHS. Which one do you want to tackle?
I will take the DHS fight. So, folks, you will remember we have been in a shutdown standoff since the end of January on DHS funding. Democrats are refusing to sign off on funding for Customs and Border Patrol or ICE without serious reforms and accountability measures. Republicans have been refusing to negotiate on those reforms and also refusing to allow the rest of the funding for DHS to pass without ICE or CBP. So functionally, Republicans have been taking all DHS funding hostage to try to force Democrats to write a blank check for ICE and Customs and Border Patrol for the last couple months. TSA has been the most visible collateral damage. TSA officers have been going without paychecks for over a month. At this point, Dems have offered 11 times to fund TSA. 11 times Republicans have killed it. There have been mass quittings. There are no-shows. There are huge lines at airports around the country. This week, Donald Trump, with his unerring eye for making a bad situation worse, announced that he was going to deploy ICE to airports to quote-unquote assist TSA. ICE is, of course, not trained to do anything remotely useful at airports, and so now we have a situation where passengers are stuck in 5-hour lines. Poor TSA officers are doing their jobs.
You must be new here. You must be new. So we're gonna teach you what we do here and how we are different than conservative retard channels. Pop quiz for the chat. Do we care if she's telling the truth? Pop quiz for the chat. Do we care if she's telling the truth? Why or why not? Do we care if she's telling the truth? Why or why not? No. We don't care if she's telling the truth. We don't care. It is irrelevant. There has not been a single time in all of conservative retard history where debunking the libs has led to actually solving any problems. She is saying what she believes is the truth. She is saying what is on the talking points of the left. She's saying what is all over leftist social media that conservatards don't even bother to fucking listen to. This is what they believe, and their beliefs will dictate their behaviors. If we stop the stream every single time the left said something that wasn't true, or every single time we could debunk them, or yada, 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 do you know real communism has never been, we would never learn anything. And every single time you are listening to debunk them, you are not listening to understand what they believe. We are observing. We are not engaging in a debate.
Unpaid, while ICE, who is getting paid, is just hanging around racially profiling people at airports. Now, I think it's important to understand that this is a classic example of Trump escalating because he is in a bad place. Because what we are seeing in DC is that Republicans are fracturing. They're kind of freaking out. They want the airports crisis over. There are signals from people as right-wing as Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley that they might accept a compromise that funds TSA without ICE or CBP. And also,
I want people to keep this in mind. One in the chat, if you heard me say sometime within the last couple months that Republicans were going to become in favor of defunding ICE. 2 in the chat if you never heard me say that. One in the chat, if sometime in the past couple months you heard me say something to the effect of Republicans are going to vote to defund ICE. 2 in the chat if you never heard me say that. Hey, W's Mitchell, thanks so much for the channel membership, bro. You rock. Yeah, I seem to remember that at least one time, possibly as many as several times, in the last several months, I said, watch what's going to happen. Republicans are going to vote to defund ICE. And the reason I said that is, again, the leftist anti-ICE organizing is so successful that they really have turned the public against ICE, guys. And if you are in a conservative media echo chamber, you might not understand this. ICE's approval ratings are incredibly low. Most people are not on ICE's team. Most people want ICE to be abolished. This is one of the successes that far left anti-ICE organizing that has trickled down into progressive groups and even the Democratic Party. Like, this is why they have been so successful. And this is why it is so dangerous every time conservatives are like, it's just a stupid protest and it doesn't mean anything. It does mean something, actually. It means something when you can mobilize the largest single-day protest in American history. The right can never fucking do this shit. There is no universe in which the right could ever do this. They can do it because they have a lot of people on their side. They're making a lot of noise. They are the ones constantly pushing this messaging into the ecosystem. And it's gotten so far at this point that it is actually going to be the popular position for Republicans to defund ICE. That is why we are currently seeing Republicans in the Senate saying, I would be open to not funding ICE. That is how effective the left has been. If you do not understand this, please, for the love of God, stop listening to conservative media.
There are Democrats, and Democrats have actually done a really good job up until now of holding firm to date, but we are getting troubling signs that a set of folks might be on the verge of folding and passing some deal that would give some amount of money to ICE and CBP in exchange for unsticking the rest of the DHS freeze. So the time for pressure is now. Call your senators. If you have got a Democrat, you need to make absolutely clear that you do not want to see a penny for ICE or CBP moving forward. If you've got a Republican, you call them and you say, stop holding TSA hostage. This is a super winnable fight. Republicans are actually very visibly fracturing and feeling the heat. It is time to just keep the pressure on.
I just want to note, Leah, the place that we're hearing some scuttlebutt behind the scenes that there might be a cave is mostly on CBP, on Border Patrol. And I think that's really important because
someone said something in the chat that I wanted to read and I forgot. Hang on. Let me go back. I'm in Los Angeles. They say they're going to, oh yeah, if you're in Los Angeles, yes, 100, yeah. You're going to see a lot of groups come out in Los Angeles. I don't know if they're going to be able to shut down downtown, but honestly, Frankie, if you can get down there and document some shit, that would be pretty fucking great. There are people that I know that are in the Los Angeles area that hopefully we will be able to get them to go and document this stuff. But like, if you are in Los Angeles, please go. Please go, because it's going to be good. You're not going to be in any danger. You're going to be fine, but please go.
All how we got here, right? It was not just Renee Good's murder. It was actually after Alex Preddy's murder. Renee Good was murdered by ICE agents. Alex Preddy wasn't murdered by ICE agents. He was murdered by Border Patrol. And it was after Alex Preddy's murder by Border Patrol and the blowback publicly to the propaganda coming out of the White House that suddenly the politics shifted. And it went from the House Democrats actually helping to pass funding for DHS to suddenly Alex Preddy is murdered and the Senate Democrats start unifying against it. So the idea that weeks later, Senate Democrats might cave and just give Republicans what they want on Border Patrol while making a big deal about the gains they made on ICE is ridiculous. It forgets why we got here in the first place. You can't just
This is actually a good point. This is a great point. Don't stay after dark in an American city. And if you do, just understand that you'll probably be okay, but like you are taking a risk. Okay. So most of the No Kings events are scheduled to be over earlier in the day. So I don't think that this is going to be a problem for most people. But like, just know that if you choose to stay after dark, you are taking a risk at that point, okay? In a major American city. If you're like in the suburbs or something, you're going to be fucking fine. But there would be no reason to stay after dark in the suburbs.
You've actually got to have a holistic approach to this, which is in fact what the approach has been thus far. So I think Democrats have a better hand to play right now. I think Republicans are flailing. I think Trump is flailing, and they should stick to this position. And if they're going to stick to that position, we all need to be pushing them.
100%. And, remember, CBP, that's Greg Bovino's shop, right? The culture there is just as bad, just as totally unaccountable, just as beyond redeeming as within ICE. And so we actually cannot allow those two things to be split out. We got to hold the line.
That's right. Well, it's convenient then, Leah, that we have something planned on Saturday to make the point that folks are looking for a united opposition party right now, Leah, because it does feel like things are escalating. I think everybody can feel this. I certainly can feel this. Like Trump is flailing, and he's flailing even more flamboyantly and more dangerously than I think he has before. Like, yes, DHS, yes, airports, but also this war that he is escalating and that he clearly can't figure out how to get out of. He's talking openly about sabotaging the midterm elections. He's basically taking all of his worst qualities, which were already up at near the top, and like turning them to 11. I just
want to speak to this. I want to speak to this. The left is hyper paranoid about Trump trying to sabotage the midterm elections. Okay. They've been starting to talk a lot about this. They've actually been starting to talk more about like Trump sabotaging the midterm elections than they are even about May 1st. Now, May 1st is going to be a huge fuck off day of national action, and everyone needs to be prepared for that. The left is actively organizing to May 1st at this point. That's going to be a big mass general strike. But right now, there are a lot of groups on the left that, alongside all the immigration stuff and alongside all the ICE stuff and alongside the May 1st stuff, they are actively saying, how are we going to prevent Trump from sabotaging the election? So it's something they're kind of like, they're working themselves up into a frenzy about, in a little way. Like, they're like, do I think that Trump's going to try to sabotage the midterms? No, I don't think he's fucking smart enough for that. Like, I don't think that that's going to happen. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but like, I don't think that's going to happen. I think the midterms, Trump is going to get slaughtered and everyone knows it, probably except for Trump. Actually, like, unironically, Trump is in such an information echo chamber that he probably doesn't even know that he's going to get slaughtered in the midterms, which should terrify everyone, to be honest with you. But the left is basically working themselves up into a frenzy over something that's probably not going to happen, but they all believe it's going to happen. And that's just kind of like an interesting thing.
And it's easy to focus on Trump. We've talked about the bad things he's doing all the time, but
you guys could even say, if you're talking to people at the No Kings protest, you could even say to them, you know what? I just really like, I voted for Trump and I thought it was going to be better than this. And now this war with Iran. And I just really I'm worried that Trump is going to try to sabotage the midterms. I want to see him lose so badly. Like, you could even say that to someone. If someone's asking you, like, what, like, if you're having a conversation, that could even be a story that you tell. Like, I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, is Trump going to try to sabotage the midterms? Cause like, that like the Republicans need to all get voted out. Like, this is ridiculous what they're doing. Like, that those are the types of, this is why we watch their videos, so that we can know what they're thinking about, so that we can repeat their own talking points back to them, and that's going to make it like less likely that they identify you as an outsider. Maybe Israel will try to sabotage the midterms. I mean, I don't know that I would go that far. They don't talk about Israel like that much in that way. But
I don't think this moment is about Trump right now. I think this is,
and also keep in mind, again, I would not bring up the Israel stuff unless you're talking to a far left group, because progressive, I mean, these two are Jewish, okay? Leah and Ezra are very Jewish. So maybe ixnay on the Israel This
is a moment about us and about what we all do collectively. So I do want to focus on the courage and the community and the joy that is core to how we organize and fight back.
Oh, because, and guys, okay, just a quick language point. Don't call the Democrats the Dems. Don't do that. This is like a small, like, just language note I'm going to give for conservatives, because you guys like to call them the Dems or the Libs. Don't fucking do that. If you're referring to the Democratic Party, say the Democratic Party. Do not say the Dems. Because, and the reason I say this is that is one of the telltale signs, if you can tell that someone is on the left or on the right. Literally no one on the left, and I was a Democrat for 20 fucking years, no one on the left says the Dems or the Libs or anything like that. You have to speak in proper language. It is a dead fucking giveaway that you are that's like hello my fellow shit libs. Yeah, stuff like that. Don't do that shit.
All of us have something to do this Saturday, March 28th, to participate in what is now shaping up to be the largest protest in American history, No Kings 3. And I got headed into this chat, y'all, I got the newest numbers. So I'm just going to brag on y'all. I'm going to brag on this movement. I'm going to brag about everything we collectively are doing together, because it's pretty freaking incredible and it's historic. I got the newest numbers that we're seeing come in for registrations for protests. Drum roll, please, Leah. We have 3,267 No Kings events worldwide.
That's
now
insane.
On the map. 3,267. Put this in comparison. The largest protest in the first Trump era, incredible, powerful, inspiring, impactful protest, was Families Belong Together, about family separation, that had about 750 events worldwide. In April of last year, we nearly doubled that with Hands Off. And then in June of last year, for the first No Kings, we had 2,100 protests. In October, for No Kings 2, we had 2,700 protests. We now have a larger increase in number of protests between No Kings 2 and No Kings 3 than we had between No Kings 1 and No Kings 2. So it's not just an increase, it's acceleration. And that's what we like to see. These protests are everywhere, y'all. Every single congressional district, obviously every single state, smallest cities, largest red areas, smallest red areas, rural areas, suburban areas, urban areas. Leah, is this right? We're on 6 of 7 continents. I think we're waiting on Antarctica.
That's right.
And that's surprising, because Trump did slap those tariffs on those penguins off the coast of Antarctica. So maybe they're still getting it together and they'll have something out there. Another incredible stat, y'all. About 95% of the entire U.S. population is within about an hour from their local No Kings protest.
That's fucking insane, guys. I want people to think about the level, like, they're not doing anything. Are you fucking shitting me? These people, over the last year and a half, have successfully built a national protest network with a national list of people who are involved in the protests that they can use to organize and fundraise and all that stuff, in which 95% of the country is within an hour drive to their local event. That is an insane level of organization. And this is why we never dismiss events like this by saying, that's just a one-day protest. What a fucking bullshit talking point. The first No Kings protest was 5 million people. The second No Kings protest was 7 million people. They're expecting this one to be over 9 million people. They have lists broken down by every fucking category that you can imagine, of everyone that's ever gone to one of these protests, even with your fake identities. And by the way, make sure you create your fake identity to go. You have to create your fake email address and stuff like that. Sign up for a mailing list under your fake identity. They have created mailing lists of millions and millions and millions of people that are actively involved in getting out to their events. In between the events, they're constantly doing other events and having other meetings and giving people other ways to be involved. This is how you build a mass movement of people. The conservative right, do not call yourself John Doe. That's fucking retarded. The conservative right should be dreaming of the type of organization that these people have built. And instead, they're just dismissing it by going, they're a complete failure, and I don't even know why they're doing this. They're doing this to build a large national network and mailing lists of people that they can use to organize at a moment's notice and to raise money off of at a moment's notice. Okay. Like, guys, I need everyone to, okay, I want to be very clear. I'm not opposed to people having fun in the chat. I'm not opposed to people having fun. But it's now getting to the point where you guys are behaving absolutely fucking retarded, and I don't appreciate it. We're trying to do something serious here. Do not put your fake fucking names in the chat. Do not tell anyone, like, if you did it, like, I was explicitly clear about this in the training. Do not fucking do not tell anyone what fake name you're using, guys. There's no reason for it. Do not put your fucking geography in the chat. Do not dox yourself in the fucking chat. Like, do not talk about what you're fucking wearing in the chat. This is all public information, you stupid motherfuckers. The fact that I have to say this is like mind blowing. So many of you have no idea how to stay. Yeah. Well, you know what? Hey, listen, if you get the shit kicked out of you because you gave away information publicly because you didn't listen to the many warnings I gave you, like, I tried to tell you, you didn't fucking listen. You get what you get. Fuck around, find out.
People are under an hour to multiple No Kings protests in their area. No Kings is, the entire country is stuffed with No Kings protests. It is going to be hard to ignore. So now is the time, as we're looking ahead to Saturday, you should be making your signs. You should be bringing people together to prepare for how you're getting there. You should be putting your outfit together. In the chat, let us know what is on your signs. Leah, I'm curious, one of my favorite signs is so bad, even the introverts are here. That really just hit me directly. I was like, okay, yes, this is great. This is a place for me and everybody else as well. Do you have a favorite, Leah?
I go traditional. I'm going to go with no kings, no war, no ice. Nice and simple.
Always on message. Always on message. That's
always
right.
On message.
I love it. Okay, great. So I think one of the joys of going to a No Kings protest is seeing all the creativity, whether it's the outfits or the signs or the songs or the dancing or the folks going up and singing. Now, some folks tragically are not going to be able to physically head to a protest. That's a bummer. We wish we could have you at the protest, but for some people, it's just not physically possible. I want you to know that we will be live streaming. We will be live streaming the flagship event in the Twin Cities. So you will be able to watch it and be excited about it with the rest of us.
We will watch that. We will watch coverage from the No Kings protests on Socialism Saturday tomorrow, later in the day. So you guys are not going to miss anything. Will I be doing live coverage? No, obviously I won't, because reasons. But we will be doing recap coverage later in the day. Okay. So if you want my coverage of it, I will give you the coverage of it later in the day.
There are some little known artists such as Bruce Springsteen, Jane Fonda, Joan Baez. We got politicians like Keith Ellison, Peggy Flanagan, who's going to be headlining, Lieutenant Governor. Bernie Sanders is going to be there. It's a star-studded, incredible, jam-packed event in the Twin Cities. But you don't have to have these world-class artists to have an incredible event. You can pull something together with your community. It's going to be meaningful. It's going to be powerful, and you're going to be able to build from it. Right now, in this very moment, I will say, I know everybody listening to this is going to go to No Kings. I know you're planning to do it.
Yep.
The challenge for us is to recruit, because I'll tell you something that I've noted. When we were building up towards No Kings 2, you couldn't get Republicans to shut up about No Kings. They were yelling to everybody who would listen, these guys are going to be Antifa, they're terrorists, they're fine. Hell, they called out the National Guard in multiple states because what turned out people dressing up in unicorn outfits and exercising their First Amendment rights were too scary to them. But they looked ridiculous doing that, and they actually gave us a lot of light. They shined a light on what we were doing, and a lot of people came out because of those attacks. And all hands at the Republicans, they learned from their mistakes for No Kings 2. And I have not heard one single national Republican utter the words No Kings in the last month.
Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? These people aren't furries. Don't be a fucking retard. Isn't that interesting? What have I been saying? No one on the right is talking about this. No one on the right is talking about how we are about to see the largest day of leftist mass protesting in American history. And I promise you guys, most people on the right don't even fucking know this is happening. Okay, I'm very sorry. We tried with you. We tried. I don't think you're smart enough to be here. And so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a deportation vote on you because I feel like I already silenced you once. So if you have something to say to defend yourself or why we should not deport you from the channel, now's gonna be your time to say it. One in the chat if we've given this guy enough chances. Two in the and we need to deport him now. Two in the chat if he can stay. It's almost like people should maybe listen to me when I'm telling them things that I'm trying to get them to not be deported from the channel, but then they don't fucking listen. Yeah, that's gonna be a deport, bro. And I don't see any defense in the chat. So so you had a chance to defend yourself. You didn't do it. Bye. Okay, back to this. Isn't it? I've been saying, I guarantee you guys, most people on the right are going to have no fucking idea the No Kings protest is happening tomorrow. And when it does happen, they're going to say stupid shit like, it's just one day. It doesn't mean anything. They don't even know why they're protesting. Like, that is what we are going to hear from them tomorrow. I think it's very interesting that the organizers of the protest have also noticed that no one on the right is talking about this.
And I've talked to a lot of journalists, and they are telling me, yeah, the White House won't even comment on it. They won't even respond to questions about No Kings Now.
Okay,
they
so
are
I can go watch
terrified
there.
that
Thank
if they
you.
engage, there will be more conflict. If there's more conflict, then there'll be more press coverage. If there's more press coverage, more people will hear about it. If more people hear about it.
See, and I gotta tell you, I think Ezra Klein is giving the Republicans a lot more credit than they fucking deserve. He's like, he thinks the Republicans are not talking about it because, you know, they're trying to be strategic and they're not trying to send them views or anything like that. He thinks that's what's going on. I don't think that's what's going on. I don't think that's what's going on. Like, okay, let me ask you guys this. One in the chat, if you think the Republicans are being highly strategic about not talking about the No Kings protest because they don't want to send additional coverage, and this is a really strategic, well thought out move. Two in the chat, if you think that the Republicans just aren't paying attention to what's going on, and they truly have no idea that there's a mass protest tomorrow. One in the chat, if you think the Republicans are making a highly strategic decision. Two in the chat if you really think that they just have no fucking clue what's going on. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I don't think the Republicans know either.
More people will show up. If more people will show up, then maybe their power is threatened. And so they are smartly shutting their mouths. And you know that's hard for Donald Trump. He does not like to keep his mouth shut, but he is right now. So that's a smart tactic. We have to adjust our tactics, y'all. So my challenge to folks who are listening now, who are here now, is not just to go, not just to make your incredible signs, but think of 3 people in your life who aren't protest types. They're not organizer types. They're not political types. Maybe they don't really like Democrats or Republicans. They don't think the political system is for them, but they don't like what's going on right now. They don't like this war. They don't like this goon squad that's terrorizing our communities. They don't like their prices are out of control or the airports are a wreck.
This is their audience, guys. This is their audience. They are trying to find all the people who maybe don't feel like they have a political home, and maybe the Democrats aren't their favorite because the Democrats are not necessarily their favorite either. They're progressives. They support the Democrats, but the Democrats are not far left enough for them. Not that these two are far left. They are not far left enough for most of the far left. But like, they're not looking for Democrats at these protests. They really want to talk to people who are like politically homeless, independent, don't like the shit Trump's doing. It's okay if you don't like the Democrats. Don't call them the Dems. Don't do that. No one that's only a conservative thing. It's a giveaway. But like, it's totally okay. And again, you don't have to talk to people when you go, but like, it's totally okay to kind of go in and say, bro, I just think all this stuff is fucking stupid and I just don't really know what to do about it. So Like, you can be really vague like that. You can be like, and that is the type of person that they are looking for. This is what I want people to understand. That is the type of person they're looking for. And if you say, I just don't like all this war shit. I don't like, like kind of like fuck Trump. Like I feel like he's fucking everything up. Things are more expensive than ever. My life is worse. Like, I just don't know what to do about it. If you go in with that sort of thing, they will have a conversation with you and they will tell you and they will give you interesting information and stuff like that. That is what we want to do if we're going to be engaging with them.
So my challenge to folks who are listening now, who are here now, is not just to go, not just to make your incredible signs, but think of 3 people in your life who aren't protest types. They're not organizer types. They're not political types. Maybe they don't really like Democrats or Republicans. They don't think the political system is for them, but they don't like what's going on right now. They don't like this war. They don't like this goon squad that's terrorizing our communities. They don't like their prices are out of control or the airports are a wreck. Give them a gift, y'all. Give them the gift of an invitation to hang out with you this Saturday, because this is a protest for them. It really is. And we want to welcome them into this movement. But sometimes you need somebody in your life to reach out and say, hey, you should join me for this. You're welcome here too, for that person to actually come. That's our task, is to reach out to a handful of people in our life and build this movement together. Leah, anything else that we need to celebrate or advise people on in the lead up for No Kings before we welcome Ash in?
I think you landed it.
Okay,
right,
let's get Ash in here.
Okay, wonderful. All right, I am so excited.
You probably said something retarded, and so you should think about what you said before you were timed out. And if you whine and complain about being timed out, I promise you that's not going to go well for you. So don't be a retard. No conservative bullshit. Just listen.
Excited to welcome Ashley Henderson. So having guests on What's the Plan has been a relatively new thing. And if you are thinking about the kinds of guests we bring on, our running theme is that we're using the space to bring on the people that we go to across the ecosystem for advice, for guidance, for strategy ourselves. If you move in progressive spaces, you know Ashley Henderson. She is the first Black woman to lead the Highlander Center, the legendary hub of civil rights training and strategy. She was on the ground in Ferguson and is a core leader in the movement for Black lives. She is regularly called on to hold spaces across the progressive movement, from the Working Families Mass Call to the Worth Fighting For call that many of you may have experienced immediately after the 2024 election, which you may think of relatively traumatizing, but nonetheless, the best we could do within 24 hours of Donald Trump's election, to the No Kings calls. And she's called on that because she also plays a similarly crucial role off screen as a weaver of coalitions and strategy.
Oh no, oh no, oh no. You're as bad as the libs. Guys, I don't think we need to do a deportation vote, do we? We all agreed to deport. Bye, bro. Not smart enough to be here. Go away.
And campaigns. And of course, this Saturday, she is going to be the MC for the No Kings rally at the flagship event in St. Paul. Ash, welcome.
I'm so honored to be here, Ezra. Leah, I love y'all. Thanks for having me.
Amazing. Thank you for being here. So I'm going to dive in. We got some questions for you, and then we'll pull some from the chat. First, just like a background, you come to this work with a really particular vantage point. You are rooted in Black liberation organizing, the Highlander tradition, long-term movement building. You organize across a lot of crucial formations throughout the left. It gives you viz into how many people are moving in any moment. I remember back in April of last year, I first said we have this crazy idea of this No Kings protest. You were one of the first people who was like, yes, that's the frame. That's great. This is the right track. Can you tell us, what did you see in this moment that made it a thing to invest in?
I love this question in part because it requires us to travel back in time a little bit to remember the story, just to be honest. So friends, I'm going to invite you to time travel with me and Leah and Ezra for a second. And I want you to remember that by April of 2025, right, we were coming 4 years, whatever, off of 27 million people in the streets over the course of the year, particularly because of just the anguish of response after George Floyd was murdered, right? Some people identify that as the Black Lives Matter, the movement for Black Lives movement. And, and we had just had a devastating loss, right? 86, there's one way you can tell the story that's like, Trump won, there was a backlash response to the 2020 movement, right? But actually, what I offer in terms of framing of where we were by April 2025 was we did get a mandate from communities. 86 million people didn't vote at all. They didn't vote for Trump. They also didn't vote for whoever we thought they should vote for, right? They didn't believe any of us. They didn't trust anybody. And we can't really blame them for it, right? The resistance landscape by April of 2025 was really heavy on legal challenges. And
you're an Uber driver. I think that's great, bro. I'm gonna cross my fingers for surge pricing, and I really do hope you make a ton of money tomorrow. But like, as you're driving people around, can you ask them for information? Can you ask them like, hey, what group are you with? Like, oh, how was your day? Who did you talk to? What did you do? Can you fish for information as you're driving people around going to these protests? Hopefully, I would appreciate it. That'd be rad.
Insider strategy inside of the Beltway, and was almost entirely reactive. And I'm not saying all of that wasn't necessary. It was, but it was insufficient. What was missing was a viable mass expression of refusal. So not just we disagree on these issues or we disagree on these semantical, back and forth. It was, we don't consent to be governed this way. That did not exist. Nobody was really saying that very loudly, except for marginalized movements that were primarily by the people who were suffering the most and then therefore resourced the least. So No Kings hit that register in a way that was an invitation for people to actually listen to the people who were suffering the most, right? Is that we won't be governed in this way. The other thing that I would name...
Guys, do we want to do a quick pause to see if we can get over 50 channel memberships? Now that I've already given an hour and a half long masterclass about how to go to the No Kings protest and not get caught, can we get over the halfway point? Tolkien fan, really appreciate that. Got 14 more to go. If just 3 people give 5 channel memberships, we already are at the halfway point. I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna see how much you guys appreciate my work and my anguish and my stress and my constant dedication to doing shit that no one else does on the internet. My constant researching to find you guys the very latest in leftist organizing calls that no one else is watching. W's Axehead, thank you for the 5 gifted channel memberships. Appreciate that, bro. You rock. We need 9 more, guys. 9 more. 9 more. Do you guys have any idea the amount of hours that I have to spend on leftist websites finding this shit? Do you guys have any idea how much leftist social media I consume? How many leftist emails I get? I do this all for you, so that you can just show up to a stream and find out what's going on. No one else does this. No one else takes you on these deep dives. And if we can't get 10 more channel memberships donated, I just don't know if I'm going to keep going. I don't know. I can do this on my own. We're going to say, yo, Linda wiped out the debt for everyone. Linda, W's to Linda. Thank you so much, Linda, for getting us across that halfway point. We really appreciate you. Welcome to all the new channel members. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, guys, guess what? We only have 50 more now. And when we hit the goal, I will stop asking you to donate channel memberships. That's the deal. When we hit the goal, I will stop asking you.
Is that the name itself, the number of times that me and Leah have been like, y'all, it's a metaphor. That name, No Kings, does a lot of ideological work, right? It's not just anti-Trump. It's anti-authoritarian. I don't know about y'all. Right. When they call me Antifa, I'm like, yes, aren't you? Like, aren't you trying to be anti-authoritarian in a country that's supposed to be rooted in democracy? So
now listen, I want to explain something. These are all progressives. These are not Democratic Socialists of America. These are not Antifa. They're actually telling the truth when they say they are not Antifa. I know some people might be confused because Ashley looks like she's a little bit of a leftist, right? But these people are not Antifa. I have been listening to each of these people for probably 2 fucking years now. These people are not Antifa, okay? When they say Antifa, you're just anti-authoritarian. They actually do believe that. They actually do believe that Antifa, anarcho-communists in America, far-left revolutionary communists in America, that's what we're talking about. These people absolutely do believe that Antifa is just an idea. And I, of course, I'm Antifa. I am an anti-fascist. I want you guys to really understand, this is not a talking point for them. They do actually believe this. Because when you are in their ecosystem, it's not like you have Antifa groups. Those things don't really exist. And I know you're going to say Rose City Antifa or blah, 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 whatever. Though, like, by and large, most Antifa groups are not called Antifa. They're called something different. In a lot of places, if Antifa ever runs into the progressives, which usually doesn't happen because they're usually not organizing at the same events, like Antifa will be at the No Kings protest. They'll be handing out flyers and stuff. They will not be part of the No Kings organizing. They're two separate groups. They're just showing up to like hand out propaganda to try to recruit and radicalize people from the crowd over to them. But Antifa does not work with these people, and these people do not work with Antifa. And so I just really want to impress upon people that when they say this stupid shit, like, Antifa just means anti-authoritarian. They do actually believe that. They have no concept. It's like one of those things, it's like where we all have blind spots, right? Everyone has blind spots. There's just information. Like, for years and years and years of my life, the fact that Israel is a terrorist state was a complete blind spot to me. I had no fucking idea. I never thought about Israel. Israel was not a part of my day-to-day at all. I didn't think anything about Jewish people. Obviously, we love Jewish people on this channel. No anti-Semitism allowed. I didn't think anything about fucking Jewish people. I didn't think anything about the Middle East. I was not engaging in any of that at all. I was completely uninterested. I was not paying attention. It was a blind spot. It was there. It was always fucking there. I didn't even see it. We all have blind spots. And in order to understand these people, you really have to understand they don't believe Antifa exists. And the groups, the cells that we study. Now, of course, we know that's bullshit because we listen to them. I go to their events. They absolutely exist. But these people have no clue about the network that they might have some inkling. They might know, oh, there are some crazy people over there, but they don't really think about it. They don't engage with it. Hope that makes sense.
A much wider aperture here. It invites people who wouldn't show up in a partisan frame, but would show up for a democratic one. That's the difference between mobilizing just my base and actually expanding the field of participants, lowering the bar for entry, which is frankly the only way we're going to win, y'all. Right? It's the only way. So frankly, if I was just thinking about this from like a movement architecture standpoint, as someone who builds movements for a living, we needed something that can function as a coordination point across the dozens of fragmented efforts that we all were spending our every waking moment trying to build. Not just a coalition meeting, a shared action, right? That's how, in my estimation, you build the connective tissue between formations that don't naturally talk to each other. And look at what we did, right? We went from a few hundred, sometimes a few thousand folks on a mass call to 157,000 overnight. We went from that 150,000, really 157,000, to 5 million.
Hey, dumb phone. I need you to do something for me. I need you to do something. Dumb phone, I need you to go to my Substack, not right now, but like later tonight or whenever. I need you to go to my Substack. I need you to watch New to My Work Start Here. And I need you to watch the re-education training. The reason I am saying this is I don't know what streams of mine you've been sitting in because this is fucking retarded. This is retarded. The left doesn't believe in equality for all. The left believes in equity. Equity is all resources available to everyone from each according to their ability to each according to their need. The left does not believe in equality. The left also does not believe in identity. They want to erase all identity categories. We cover this extensively. And so, while I appreciate you being on the channel, and I always appreciate when you send support and all that stuff, and I appreciate you, but I need you to learn. I need you to learn, okay? And so we're going to start you with the re-education class. Anyone can do this that's new to my work. It's 90 minutes. I walk you through a dozen plus clips from different far left trainings I've recorded. I explain to you the language. This is like your entry-level crash course. If you don't understand what's in this video, following my work is going to be a lot harder for you. If you really like that, you can move on to the 4-hour How to Speak Socialist Masterclass. That's also another research. And we also have an introduction to queer Marxism, which is all about the gender and abolish the family shit and the evolution and development of the ideology and stuff like that. So those resources are available on my Substack. This is all totally for free. Just go to Karlyn, KARLYN.substack.com. Link in the description below. I believe Chicken also put it in the chat. New to my work, start here. I'll just put it in the chat now. Fuck it. Fuck it. There you go. Go there. Watch the videos. It's all for free. Ask questions. All that good stuff.
We went from 5 million to 7, and look at what you're about. Look at the history you're about to make. It's just, to me, my grandmother would say the proof is in the pudding, and I think we're proving that our estimation in April of 2025 was correct, that we needed a mass movement to say that they were against this authoritarian consolidation of power, not only from the federal government, but from the hollers and hoods that we all come from, and that it was time to actually come together across our differences to make that plain to them.
It seems to have worked out pretty well so far.
I think so.
We're continuing to build. So I'm happy that we've been digging in on this. Can I think there is a devil's advocate argument that I'd love you to respond to. Yeah. And it goes something like this. Sure, one-day protest, but who cares? Like, what's the point? Showing up on a Saturday? Like, what can you actually hope to accomplish by just showing up on a Saturday? Curious what you say to skeptics who have some version of that.
Look, and you know, I'm going to be honest. Some of those skeptics are my loved ones, or people I've built movement with, people that I've voted for, people that I support. And I think their skepticism is, I want to start with the unpopular opinion sometimes, that their skepticism is not ungrounded sometimes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. I think what I sit with myself is, gosh, I imagine saying that to Bernard Lafayette when he was talking about the March on Washington, which also happened on a weekend, right? But like, you know, or the Selma to Montgomery March, or any of the one-day protests that were rooted inside of an ecosystem that was movement building beyond just that one day. And I don't think anyone can argue that Indivisible or members of the No Kings Coalition are only planning for one-day protests all year. But again, I want to start by naming the skepticism directly. Like, it's not wrong that a single day doesn't change policy, doesn't change behavior, doesn't change the culture. No question. That's not the point. That's not what mass mobilization is for. In fact, it's to me, I think mass mobilization does 3 things well, right? If it doesn't do anything else, it does 3 things. First, it makes the scale of opposition legible to everyday people and to the opposition, right? But it makes it visible to participants, to the uncommitted middle, right? Our folks that are like, I could go either way depending on which way the wind blows. And again, to the opposition, right? So you can't manufacture that visibility through digital campaigns, legal briefs, or just everyday distributed organizing and door knocking, right? I'm not saying that those things are not important. I come from a tradition that says by any means necessary means by all of the means. But we had a real absence of that scale in April of 2025. And I think No Kings is filling that gap. Second,
Yeah, sure. Yep, there is. Yep. One sec. Just need something to load. I don't know why it's not low. There it is. On the Center for Left-Wing Studies website. This is not built out yet, which is why it might be difficult to find, but there it is. You can find a list of online zine libraries, zine publishers. This is a work in progress. This is not meant, you can see I'm still like editing the page and making it pretty and have it be like how I want it to be and all this stuff. But you can find a list of online directories. This is not a complete list of online directories. This is just some online directories of zines. The ones that are probably particularly relevant are Sprout Distro. Sprout Distro is one of the biggest zine like websites that you can find, and there's a lot of fucking stuff on Sprout Distro. There's a lot. The reason I kind of laughed at your chat was because, like, do you understand how many fucking zines there are? Do you understand how I have a directory where yeah, we're working on that, but like, do you understand how many zines are published every single month on the far left? Do you understand how many of these? Do you understand how many zines I have in my office right now? And those are just things I've collected at real world events. That doesn't include all the stuff that, you know, maybe has been distributed. Yeah. Do you know how many libraries have zine collections? Oh, wait. I have a list of some of those libraries, zines in public libraries. The Library of Congress, Boston Public Library, San Francisco Public Library, New York Public Library, Denver, Somerville, Massachusetts, the Library of Virginia, the DC Library Punk Zine Collection. These are universities that I found with zine collections. Like, I mean, it's just like, it is a never, like, the reason I laugh is you can't, there's not a list of zines that you can just like skim over and get a good sense of what's, it's like, another great one, actually my favorite, is it not on here? Oh no, here it is. The Queer Zine Archive Project. This one is not opening for some reason. This one is my favorite. Hang on. Why isn't it loading? Well, I guess we'll wait for it. The Queer Zine Archive is my absolute favorite because the Queer Zine Archive has a lot of fucked up shit. Oh no! It's over. Site can't be reached. Oh no, is it offline? Oh, that'd be terrible. That would be fucking terrible. Anyway, hang on. Let me see if I can just Queer Zine Archive. Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, they changed it. Uh-oh, they changed it. They changed it. They changed the URL. Zine of the Gay? What's this? I'm queer. You're... Oh, that's a good one. I've read that one before. The Trans Questionnaire. If you want to find the most fucked up shit, it's on the Queer Zine Archive Project. This is the real dystopian nightmare. If you just want to look around and just like just not safe for work warning, there's porn in these zines. So I'm not saying there's porn in all the zines, but you're gonna see naked people in some of these zines. Probably a good 30% of them. Yep, you guys notice the pink triangle? Oh, look at that. Look at that pink triangle. That means that's not gay, that's trans. That's a good one. Anyway, back to this. Good question.
It transforms private discontent into public identity, right? How many of you, before Worth Fighting For, before Hands Off, before Ice Out for Good, before No Kings, felt like my values are anti this? I am for democracy. I am for racial justice or gender justice or LGBTQ liberation, or I am for actually doing something that saves the planet and this people. But you were doing that in your own individual capacity, not as a we, right? That was many of us, far too many of us. In fact, it's still too many of us, right? But this is actually shifting that private discontent and those personal individual values into an opportunity to define who is America moving forward. This is our moment to take the responsibility of those decisions, and our opportunity to redefine who gets to get included when we talk about this liberty and justice for all. Who is for all, right? And in this moment, I feel like we are answering that. People can walk away knowing that they're part of something. They're not just angry alone. They're not just grieving alone. They're not just trying to find joy in the hard alone. That's the raw material for sustained organizing, in my estimation. So I think that's the second one. Thirdly, and this is the part that I feel like a lot of my skeptical friends miss, and I say that as a traditionally skeptical human, it shifts the calculus for elites. Now, I know a bunch of people are like, we're spending millions of dollars on this protest. Why aren't we just giving it to grassroots base building organizations, et cetera? But when 1 million people, just one, not to mention 7, not to mention however many is about to be in the streets on Saturday, come together, every institution, from corporations to military leadership to swing district electeds, has to recalculate what compliance costs them.
That's right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So the real question.
This is another thing they've been talking a lot about. So their big thing, guys, is they are trying to get people into a pipeline to train them in mass non-compliance. Mass non-compliance is going to be a key part of all the organizing and activities that they're doing for the entire rest of the year. They've been talking about this an awful lot. Cynthia! W's in the chat to our queen, Cynthia. It's good to see you, Cynthia. Thank you for the channel memberships. Awesome, awesome. We're working our way towards that goal. So mass non-compliance, which means essentially ignoring orders you don't like, getting right up to breaking the law, like right up to it, engaging in mass strikes, following ICE around, not taking their shit, continuing to record them. By the way, you guys know they're recording ICE in airports now. Like the left, actually, we were on an organizing call the other day where they were talking about this. The left is actively like organizing to record ICE in the airports now as part of their overall strategy. They're also trying to get businesses to pull their support from ICE. So they're going to go after any business they know of that's working with ICE. They're going to try to get people to boycott those businesses, all this stuff. Basically, non-compliance is they're trying to get people into this thing where they're okay with essentially like breaking the rules, skirting the rules, saying, no, I'm not going to go to work today because I'm going to go out on strike and stuff like that. That's what they're organizing for.
To me, does a protest change everything? That's boring. I'm not even wasting my energy on fake fights like that. The question is, can you build a sustained non-cooperation campaign without a mass demonstration phase? And historically, I think we can quantifiably from our chest say, no, you can't skip it. It's infrastructure. What we're doing this week.
You cannot build a mass non-cooperation campaign like a mass general strike where they're going to try to shut down the economy. You cannot build a mass non-cooperation campaign without engaging in mass protests. So what does a one-day protest do? It is one of but many steps that they are taking to build a mass non-cooperation campaign so that they can organize a mass general strike in 2028, May 1st, 2028 to be exact, so that they can literally shut down the entire economy. And they're going to be doing many practice strikes in between now and then. I'm not saying May 1st, 2028 is going to be the only strike. There's going to be many, many, many strikes between now and then, starting with May 1st, 2026, which is going to be on a Friday. They are trying to get as many people as possible into their mass non-cooperation movement so they can literally shut down the economy leading up to the 2028 election. The left is not playing for this weekend. This is not a one-day protest. This is one step in many, 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 many steps that they have taken to shut down the economy in a couple of years from now on May 1st, 2028, and to have many opportunities to practice getting their shit together before then. Does everyone understand what this is? It's not just a one-day protest. They are planning years in advance. And this is about building infrastructure, getting people working together, getting into a routine where everyone knows what's going on, aligning all the organizations, creating a mass movement that brings people in, doing these big mass protests to give people something to go to. It's like the top of a funnel. It is a sales funnel. It's that they're trying to get as many people into the fucking mass protest as possible so that the trickle down will be enough to engage in a mass campaign of non-cooperation. Yeah, SALT training, doing SALT training, getting people into workplaces where they're forming unions. All of that goes along with this. It's part of an overarching strategy. It is not a one-day protest is not the strategy. It is one step in a much bigger picture.
Again, y'all, is not just skeptical, right? It's not just spectacle. It's not just in response to trying to prove something to the skeptics. What we're doing this weekend is an embodied invitation to say, y'all, come be a part of a thing that is bigger than us, knowing that none of the No Kings protest or hands-off protest or we're fighting for interventions were just about that single day of action, right? You might remember, in fact, that after No Kings 2, was it No Kings 1? It was after No Kings 1 that we did 1 Million Rising, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So when people were saying y'all just did 1 day of protest, we were actually preparing to train 300,000 people in non-cooperation.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Now, the question I think that they will rightfully ask is, well, where's the
Cynthia! W's to Cynthia, 10 channel memberships. Cynthia, you are too generous to me. I really do appreciate it, my dear. Thank you. Welcome to all our new channel members. We are closing in on that goal. I love to see it.
cooperation this weekend? And I think that's up to you all to decide. But I want to just be frank with you. The question that we're answering right now is not, does protest change everything? Does protest replace organizing or base building or lobbying and legislating? Does it replace advocacy work or direct service or mutual aid or any of those things? No. But does it offer another opportunity for us to change the calculus? Yes. And in fact, it gives even more room for our folks that are doing some of that inside-outside work outside of direct action and protest. So I think I could go on about this one forever, Ezra and Leah, but I just want to be real. I think those three things are the most important. It makes it legible, right? It transforms private discontent into public identity. And last but certainly not least, it changes the cost of the calculus for the elites.
That is, I love that. That is so helpful.
We're going to clip that and we're going to get it out to people. That was actually,
we're going to, yes, that as well. Yeah, I will just say, as somebody who, has communicates about this a lot, the two things that are just going to go on my tombstone is, it's a metaphor.
Oh, shit. I forgot. Okay, here's what we're going to do, guys. Here is the plan for this evening. Okay, I'm going to lay this out. We're going to finish watching this Indivisible training. We're also going to watch this Don't Show Up in No Kings Without This. We're going to watch a little bit of this video to see what they have to say. And then what we're going to do is we're going to shut down this stream. And I'm going to start up another stream that's just like a more fun content stream because I got a bunch of shit I want to watch. And I figure I might as well do it with you guys. So we're going to do, this is the professional stream for the rest of this. And we're going to continue to break down all this No King shit and prepare for tomorrow. And then I think I'm just going to shut this down and do another kind of like late night stream. And I have a fun activity that I forgot to do at the beginning of the stream. I have these demonic creature like blind boxes that I bought on Whatnot because they were super cheap and they were so sad, and the creatures look demonic, and I was like, if I can get some demon creatures from Whatnot like to hang on my bag, I have 2 of these and I'm gonna open them on the next stream. Okay, so if you want to see if I got a demon creature blind box from one, I have 2 of them. I have no idea. I don't even really know what they are, but they looked like demon creatures. And so I forgot they were sitting here. I was going to do them at the beginning of the screen. Yeah. Demon box. Yeah. I know I just made it like really appealing to say I have a demon creature. Yep.
Agitators, Nick. Thank you.
Yeah,
and
Nick.
then
I'll
Nick.
try.
He's always doing it. He's always starting shit. I gotta back him up.
Oh shit, not this. What the fuck am I doing? We're not watching this. We're watching this. Oh my god. We're back.
It's a metaphor for
No kings,
unaccountable
no bosses, no
imperious
kings, no
governments.
ice, no kings, no war, no kings, no all of it. All of it. Whatever your no is
Gnostic
can fit in this
creatures,
umbrella, I promise you.
Gnostic creatures.
Right. And also it is a tactic and a strategy, right? We are trying to foster mass defiance. And this is one of those moments when mass defiance is made very legible and unignorable and starts to factor into the calculations of a lot of people who are not joining What's the Plan. And also, it is one tactic. We're doing a bunch of things at the same time.
Well, and let's say the other quiet part out loud. What people see when we're in the streets reads differently depending on what kind of a community you come from, right? So, like, I got on my skeptics. Now let me get on us a little bit, right? So, yeah, if I, as a Black working class Southerner, see a bunch of white folks waving American flags on the street, honking horns and stuff,
well, that's an interesting question. If BLM had not happened, do you think they would be this far along? If it wasn't BLM, it would have been something else. That's what you got to understand. Like BLM, George Floyd was the opportunity for them. George Floyd was not the big picture. They've been doing this type of organizing for decades. And they take advantage of crisis situations in order to do leftist organizing, in order to push their agenda. The George Floyd riots were the exact same pattern as the ACT UP protests, with the exact same pattern as like the Occupy bullshit, exact same pattern as like the pro-Palestine bullshit. Like it's like all of the different protest movements before or after BLM, it all follows the same pattern. It is a crisis situation that they take advantage of in order to push far left activism. So if BLM hadn't happened, it literally just would have been something else. So the pattern would have still replicated itself. It just would have been on a different issue. Like if George Floyd hadn't died in the way he did with that video, like it just like it, of course they wouldn't have had those specific riots, but it would have been something else. There would have been another crisis to take advantage of. So yeah, I think they would be this far along, because the reason they're this far along is not because of the BLM riots. It's because of the decades and decades and decades and decades and decades that they've been doing this type of organizing and have gone completely unopposed. The right is not opposing these people. The right is doing nothing to fight these people. The right doesn't even listen to these people. They don't understand their enemy. They have no idea most of this stuff is even going on. The right has no fucking clue. And so the reason they are as far along as they are is they've literally been doing this, not them specifically, but the left. They've been doing this for decades and decades and decades and decades and decades, completely unopposed. That's why they are where they are right now.
It might make me a little uncomfortable. I'm just going to be honest with you, right? Because that symbol has meant something violent to the people that I come from. Now, does that mean you shouldn't go and wave your American flag? No, it just means when Black people say we don't see ourselves in this, that maybe there's something we should reckon with there, right? What risk are we taking, or frankly not taking, by turning a protest into just a rally, right? And we can have those hard and sometimes uncomfortable conversations about how it reads to people, right? If you're mad that more brown people aren't showing up, but we haven't actually done the work, and I'm not saying we haven't, because actually the security trainings and other things have made it so possible for us to have conversations about how to make more people as safe as possible, knowing that we can't promise safety because we can't control what the opposition does or doesn't do, right? But let's be so for real. If I was undocumented or underdocumented right now, I probably wouldn't be coming out on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? So what are we doing to make the connections? That's our job, is the folks that are showing up locally to No Kings events. It's like, who's missing and what do we need to do to be in right relationship with them, whether they show up to No Kings rallies or not, right? So we're going to have some calls to action on Saturday, particularly about you getting involved with local work, and particularly doing the sometimes really hard and annoying and sometimes uncomfortable work to build relationships where you are, right? Coming to our national calls is so important, and I want you to do it. But I also want you to know that the actual life-changing, transformative work that you're going to do actually isn't just on these webinars, y'all. It's when you're in community with people who sometimes disagree with you or are skeptical about the tactics that you're choosing, and you still stay in with them. You don't let it fragment you more than the opposition already wants it to, right? So, you know, I think multiple things are true at the same time, y'all. Like Leah and Ezra.
Well, that's because you haven't watched the content that I just told you to watch. It's a funny thing, dumb phone, because just because you haven't seen something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And you making the assumption that it doesn't exist is why you're relatively ignorant on this topic. And listen, bro, I'm gonna start getting harder and harder and harder on you. Like just because you're a supporter doesn't mean you get off the fucking hook. Either learn or literally just stop talking. Why is it the right does nothing? Because the right constantly has influencers saying, it's just a one-day protest. It doesn't mean anything. We're the silent majority. They're stupid. They're mentally ill. They're narcissistic. They're lazy. They don't have jobs. They're all paid protesters. These are all just paid protesters. This isn't organic. None of this is real. This is just a one-day protest. They don't even know why they're protesting. That's why. That's why. These are meaningless. They don't even know why they're there. They're just retarded. They're narcissists. They all have pink hair and tattoos and piercings. They don't even know what's going on. Then it's debunk after debunk. Don't they know that the ICE and blah 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 blah? Don't they know that Democrats and blah 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 blah? It's the same thing over and fucking over again. This is why the right doesn't fight back. If you think that a group of people is lazy and narcissistic and stupid and lazy and they don't have jobs and they're all paid protesters, none of this is real, it's just a one-day protest, like, do you take that enemy seriously? That's why.
I do. I think that, I think sometimes the skeptics are saying things that are not grounded in truth at all. And I think sometimes they're reflecting something that we've inherited, not something that we created, around the things that will pull us apart, like money, like ego, like credit, like race and identity, right?
Yeah.
And we actually have the opportunity to be an embodied invitation to lean into that conversation and fix it, which I've seen you all, the two of you in particular, do over and over and over again. And I think we just have to keep doing it until again, the proof is in the pudding, right? Until we've done it enough that we've earned the trust and right relationship with people who don't feel like they're included yet.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and it is not a end state, right? There is no point to it. Just like, well, we did it, right? It is a continuing and ongoing, right? Yeah. And I think it's an important flag as well, because we all see the conversations online, and like, you know, if we come in hot, other people are going to come in hot, right? Like, we want to always be approaching this with the spirit of what helps to build, not how do we, win the fight in the Facebook thread. Totally. Ezra, do we want to pull? Can I send it to you over to you for Q&A?
See, listen. Leah Greenberg just said something really important there. That is actually directly related to what we were talking to. What Leah Greenberg just said is, we're not interested in winning the Facebook debate. We are interested in building a movement that is going to change the future. We're not interested in winning some retard over in a Facebook comment thread. That's not where we're going to put our energy. We're building something much larger than that. The right does exactly the fucking opposite. The right spends all their time fighting and debating and debunking and owning the libs and making clips of them owning the libs and then making more clickbait of them owning the libs, and they're fighting with people on Twitter. They're fighting with people, and mostly they're fighting with each other. They're not even usually fighting with the left, but they're too retarded to know what the fuck is going on. Or they're posting comments on Facebook to own the libs because it makes them feel superior. That is where the right spends their energy. The right does not organize. The right doesn't do events. The right doesn't try to build a movement. The right doesn't think in any terms of like long-term vision. That is what the left is doing. That is why they are winning. That is why they where they are, because they aren't spending the ungodly amount of hours that people on the right spend on Facebook and Twitter and all these other fucking websites where they're literally just dunking on the libs, but they're not really, because they're not really talking to anyone and no one's really listening to them, but they feel really good about it.
And it is not a end state, right? There is no point to it. Just like, well, we did it, right? It is a continuing and ongoing, right? Yeah. And I think it's an important flag as well, because we all see the conversations online, and like, you know, if we come in hot, other people are going to come in hot, right? Like, we want to always be approaching this with the spirit of what helps to build, not how do we, win the fight in the Facebook thread. Totally. Ezra, do we want to pull? Can I send it to you over to you for Q&A?
Yeah, let's open it up for Q&A. Ash, I'm going to see if there are some No Kings and coalition building specific questions that we might be able to elevate for you. We've got one here that's like a tactical question from Caroline. A friend is unsure about attending No Kings because his local organization is running several small local marches where, quote, 75 people show up to be laughed at. He would prefer one larger event to get media attention. I think 1,500 people at a half dozen events is better than 1,000 people at the county courthouse. Do you care to comment?
I mean, sure. I mean, what I'll say is I am not a Yanla. I cannot fix your life, my love. But what I can do, and I think the devil's in the details, right? Like time, place, and conditions are different in every place. And I don't know enough about your conditions to say yay or nay to what your friend is offering or not offering, right? What I can say is what I've experienced when there has been disalignment on what we should be for, but alignment on what we were against, right? This, again, thinking about No Kings, when I think about what's about to happen in Minneapolis, right? There will be multiple marches, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we will all end up together. And it doesn't mean we're going to agree on everything. We won't, right? But we are recognizing that we're bigger than the sum of our parts. And the thing that we do agree on is no kings, no war, no ICE. We agree on that. So why would we pretend like we don't?
Right.
Just because we don't agree on everything? That's silly. That is emotionally and strategically immature, right? So I think what I would invite is a curiosity. Like, if I'm in a fight with a loved one, I can either get all defensive and puff my chest out and clench my booty cheeks and my jaw, right? And just focus on responding because I feel righteous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or I can get grounded in what I know and what I've experienced, what I value. And I could be curious about what would you need to see? Like, how do I organize? How do I ask a question that they can't say no to? By being curious. So that they arrive at the logical conclusion or the illogical conclusion and see the absurdity of the illogic, right? So it's like, if I am in a place where folks are more interested in being ideologically pure than building a big tent to stop or slow down the authoritarian threat, then my
It's literally the left that's building the big tent now, guys. Maybe I'm traumatized by all the big tent talk in 2020 when I was used as a tool by conservative bullshit con artists to lift up the idea of people leaving the left. But I was told, I swear to God, in 2020, MAGA was like, we're the Big Ten. We welcome everyone in. Just if you're not crazy, we are the free thinkers. We are the intellectuals. We are the arbiters of we have intellectual debate. We welcome everyone in as long as you can agree that the left is crazy. We welcome everyone in. And it's just like 6 years later to literally see the fucking progressives say, we're the Big Ten and we're welcoming everyone in and we don't need to agree on everything and we don't need to have these purity tests. Well, the right is like actively canceling anyone right now that doesn't support Israel. It's oh man, it really is true that you don't understand how politics works until you've been in it for many, many, many years. It's like, I thought I knew this stuff after all the stuff I went through in 2020. Oh no, I had no fucking idea. And then at the end of 2021, I knew a little bit more than I did in 2020, but it's still, I had no fucking idea. And then at the end of 2022, man, I knew a lot fucking more at the end of 2022. I'll tell you that. I still had no fucking idea because you have to wait until the cycle comes all the way around. And it will just come all the way around at some point. Like, it is inevitable. It will come all the way around. It's fucking hilarious, honestly.
It's like, if I am in a place where folks are more interested in being ideologically pure than building a big tent to stop or slow down the authoritarian threat, then my goal isn't to change their mind because I'm right, right? My goal is to be like, okay, I think your position is solid. You've got grounds for your position. Is there something that we could do that makes us bigger than the sum of our parts? And if they say no, what is the next faithful step I can take that gets us a little closer to unity than more fragmented? And I think I have to believe that folks will move, right? It's part of the reason I continue to organize in impossible terrain is because I believe people are transformed when we give them something worthy of transformation. And I think that we have, right? Another thing that I've offered to people that you should just steal if it works for you is if this person is an organizer or a strategist, I often say, like, look, you don't agree with No Kings, and I'm not trying to convince you, because I'm not, right? But what I also know as an organizer, as an activist, as a strategist, is that these other organizations just spent lots of money to bring thousands of people together. And you can choose not to go and say your position. You can choose not to go and recruit people and absorb people into your ideology, your infrastructure, your organization. Or you could go for free with your clipboard, your propaganda, and you could get if you're really that bad.
Your propaganda.
By bad, I mean good, right? If you're really that good and you're really that right? Why don't you go and organize these people to your position, my friend? And if you choose not to, like, fine, but like, where's the logic? I'm just trying to understand. I'm curious, right?
Hey guys, I gotta pee real quick. I'm gonna let this play. I'll be right back. Let me know if I miss anything.
I'm not being a smart ass. I'm not being like an evangelist for No Kings. What I'm doing is just asking people to give me some grounds.
Yeah.
Based on what you've experienced. So if your friend is like, look, I just think we need our own thing. I'm like, but don't you have it? Like, isn't the march, in fact, that? Like, aren't you already organizing your own thing? And what would it look like, since anybody could have volunteered to host a No Kings event? What would it look like for you to be in some leadership, some authority, some agency to decide what does and does not get said in your local capacity? You basically abdicated responsibility by saying you were going to plan your own thing and not kick it with us, right? And actually, isn't there a world where you get to do your own autonomous thing and it feeds into this bigger thing that you actually would have a bigger platform to say your piece at? That's what I would do.
It's such a huge opportunity for folks who are really doing organizing on the ground. That's how I view it, because you suddenly have in your community thousands, maybe tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people there. My God, meet them where they are, recruit them to your efforts, get them plugged into your organizing hubs. Isn't that organizing? Yes, yes, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. We desperately don't want everybody just join some No Kings email list or an Indivisible email list and be like, I did my duty. No, I want people plugged into 5051 or DSA or Working Families Party or Indivisible, whatever your local hub is, find that there. And I hope people who are doing that formal organizing on the ground see the...
Yes, guys. Yes. When you go to the No Kings protest, use that as a way to find your local hub of organizing. And then utilizing the fake identity and the fake email address that you will have created by tonight, so that you can have a place to like send that stuff, sign up to their mailing list under your fake identity and ask them to send you more information. Do not give them your phone number. Just give them the fucking email. That'll be enough.
The crowds that are out there and say, oh boy, we got a lot of recruits here. Let's get them into our next meeting.
Organizers organize. And I think that, like, unfortunately, far too many of my friends who are skeptical haven't been to a No Kings event. So they're saying what they saw online, they're saying what they saw driving by, but they haven't been in it. And I think my agitation to folks who are skeptical is like, for all of my socialists and communists and anarchists on the call, I would say, no investigation, no right to speak.
Wait. What? They think they're going to be communists and anarchists?
My friends who are skeptical haven't been to a No Kings event. So they're saying what they saw online, they're saying what they saw driving by, but they haven't been in it. And I think my agitation to folks who are skeptical is like, for all of my socialists and communists and anarchists on the call, I would say, no investigation, no right to speak is the practice we come from. So like, how can we actually give a full-throated critique of something that we didn't actually experience? And don't get me wrong, there are places.
Ashley is talking about getting shit talked by the far left, and she's like, how can you criticize us if you don't come to... This is about leftist infighting right there. That's funny. That's funny. Do you know why when I go vote, I see candidates listed under, because they're different political parties. Those are political parties that exist in your state. That's why.
where we had No Kings events, where when Black people say we weren't there, they're not wrong, right? And there's some reckoning we need to do that is even bigger than No Kings around why that happens. And there's some reckoning we have been in and doing, shout out to Leah and Ezra, around the racial dynamics of our No Kings events. But what I would offer is that it is easy to complain from the sidelines. It is harder to build something. And what I have seen is integrity. And
you don't agree with their premises. You probably don't even know what their premises are. So I recommend you go to my Substack, go to New to My Work, watch the Reeducation Masterclass. I promise you do not agree with their premises. You probably don't understand what they are. How do you defeat them? You shut the fuck up, go watch the Reeducation class, and you learn who you're actually fighting. If you are unwilling to learn who your enemy is and what they actually believe, there's nothing that you can do to defeat them. So go to the Substack, Karlyn, KARLYN.substack.com. Click on New to My Work, start here. Watch the Reeducation class, and that is the first thing you need to do.
The process of building No Kings, and what I am seeing is
there's a question on Rumble. WCU, is anarchy a cousin to communism? Okay. Far left revolutionary communists are anarchists. Revolutionary communists, revolutionary socialists who want to overthrow the government. They don't believe in capitalism. They want to overthrow the system. They don't believe in elections. They are anarchists, anarcho-communists. Anarcho-communists are communists. It's not like a qualifier. There is not like a separate kind of communist that's not an anarcho-communist. So they're the same thing, basically.
Integrity in the building of grassroots organizations, and that if we can get beyond our ego and turf wars, that we will be unstoppable in the face of this evil regime. And that is, in fact, the goal and invitation of No Kings, is to come, let's do this together. There's room enough for all of it, for every tactic, for every community, for every identity. There is room at this table for that. And as we sharpen to get to more specificity, we will handle that with grace and accountability and integrity. But where we are right now is needing to, from as many corners of this country and the world as we can, say we will not be governed like this. We will not sit quietly while this happens. And I don't mean to be ableist. I mean, we will not do anything. We will not assume this too shall pass. We will not let this be the responsibility of someone else. We will come however we can come. Some of us are willing to take some big risks. Some of us are willing to put on frog suits. Some of us are willing to sing. Some of us are willing to cry and scream and be mad. Some of us are sit down because it's a Tuesday. And some folks are willing to sign a petition or call a senator. And we need every single one of those people doing every single one of those things. So No Kings is an opportunity to do that. We can either argue about which tactic is the most sexy and revolutionary, or we could all just be in our lane doing what we do excellently as much as possible together as we can. That to me is the goal. Amazing.
Hell yeah.
That's incredible.
Hell yeah. Oh God. I am pumped. I'm so thankful that you were joining us here and helping us build right now.
Yeah. I'm convinced. I'll go on Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
you know what I mean? Like I'm going.
You know, yeah. Thank you, Ash. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been really incredible. Everyone who is on, wherever you are, you can catch Ash on the live stream on Saturday, coming out of Minnesota. We will be telling the story of Minnesota. We'll be telling the story of what is possible when regular people say no to fascism.
Okay. Reagan, what are you saying? In your channel history, you answered property followed by did I get it right? That means you got a pop quiz wrong. Hey, Rusty, what we need you to do is literally shut the fuck up and listen. Okay, that's what we need you to do. I don't believe you've attended their rallies. I don't believe you know much about them. And so again, what I told you is you need to learn.
And it is going to be an extraordinary day.
It's going to be amazing. And then we'll see you on the mass call after, y'all.
And we'll see you on the mass call after.
Thanks, Ash.
Amazing. Thanks.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, we've got a lot of questions, and Ash was incredible, and Lee and I were both mesmerized as we were listening to her and inspired, and I can see in the chat and from the emojis, a lot of other folks were. We're going to try to zoom through as many questions as we can because we got a lot piled up. We're going to start, as always, top questions asked in the Zoom chat. We've got Kim with the top vote. Steve Bannon described the presence of ICE at airports as a test run for elections. What can we do to prevent ICE from interfering at polling places? You know, I do not often say, hey, I was saying what Steve Bannon was saying, But I will say
never
we have
a
been
good feeling.
It's
never
never makes me feel good, and it doesn't happen very often. But we were literally talking about this last week, I believe, on What's the Plan. We've been talking about it a lot. This is not just about the airports. Bannon is absolutely right. This is not Trump just wants to mess with the airports right now. He is engaging in a dress rehearsal for the midterms. He has seen what it looks like to take his Gestapo and send it into public places and start harassing people to make their lives harder. He's doing it at airports now. He's absolutely...
Guys, the left really is convinced that Trump is going to use ICE as a Gestapo to steal the elections. That's what they're talking about.
Absolutely going to do this in the midterm elections. He's absolutely going to do this in the midterm elections. So I think Bannon is right and probably is informing some of the strategy there. And so we should accept that that is a threat that is likely real. And then we should ask ourselves, okay, so what do we do about it? What is the practical thing we do about it? Knowing that this authoritarian is going to try to sabotage the election using state forces to do so. What do we do about it? Leah, I think you are our lead on election security organizing work.
Well, I actually think it starts way before you get into things that technically count as election security or organizing work or poll protection, right? Because we are going to need poll monitors. We are going to need poll workers. We are going to need to be tightly connected with our election protection and anti-sabotage coalition tables at the state level in the places that are hotspots. All of that is totally true. But the real work of preventing this play actually is now, and it is the ongoing work that we are doing to delegitimize ICE and to make it difficult for them to operate wherever they are in
the ongoing work that we're doing to delegitimize ICE and make it difficult to operate wherever they are. This is why the Trump administration has been chased out of multiple American cities, because the left has been engaging in a concerted campaign for over a year and a half now to delegitimize ICE and make it difficult to operate wherever they are. And they did not stop organizing around this just because it hasn't been covered as much in the media lately. They are still organizing around this, and they're getting stronger at this. And now they're exporting the strategies from Minnesota all over the country. Antifa is literally going on a speaking tour. We covered it earlier this week. Antifa is literally going on a speaking tour. Antifa from Minnesota is going on a speaking tour all over the country to teach them what they did. It's on their website. So
preventing this play actually is now, and it is the ongoing work that we are doing to delegitimize ICE and to make it difficult for them to operate wherever they are in the country to take our neighbors, right? Because fundamentally what we are doing when we say no kings, no war, no ICE, and when we normalize the general unwillingness, popular unwillingness to accept ICE in our public spaces, is we're actually creating the conditions in which their attempt to deploy ICE to mess with our elections is less likely to succeed. So I think that's the very first thing. Like, don't separate the threat to elections from the ongoing work. If you are having an ICE watch training or a know your rights training in your area, if you are starting a signal chat so that your neighbors are all connected and it can be updated if something is happening in your area, if you are volunteering and supporting your local immigrant rights organization, all of that collectively, if you are protesting ICE wherever you are, if you are fighting against a detention warehouse that they are trying to convert to house human beings in a completely unacceptable way.
Again, Antifa's not going to do anything around elections. Antifa doesn't believe in elections. Antifa doesn't vote. These are progressives. These are not Antifa. If Antifa, I'm going to replace if progressives, because these are not Antifa. We need to be clear about that. If progressives and Democrats and liberals can get people in the polls as watchers, don't be surprised if they shut machines down for anomalies. Yeah, I mean, maybe, but again, bro, this doesn't really fucking matter if I'm being honest. This is about learning what the left believes. It's not about engaging in right-wing nonsense, honestly.
All of those things are the actual process of delegitimizing ICE that creates the ground in which sending them into a polling station is going to be absolutely unacceptable.
That's right. Next question, related. ICE agents in airports are unmasked, not using tear gas or overly aggressive tactics. Laura, I might quibble with that. I saw a mom get tackled to the ground in the San Francisco airport. So the tactics in some cases are quite aggressive. And in other cases, it's just ICE agents doing nothing in particular, just standing around menacing people. But Laura continues, this proves that they don't need to be masked and can act like other law enforcement agencies. I think that's a really good point. It's actually notable that the reporting is that Donald Trump himself said he did not want them masked at airports. Why do you think that our dear leader wants them masked when they're terrorizing communities around the country, but when he's engaged in this big visible display of force at airports, that he doesn't want them masked?
I think that's a great question, Ezra. I think that's a great question, and I think we should answer that question before he gives his answer. Why do you guys think that Trump wants ICE masked in the real world, but he's perfectly okay with them taking off the masks at the airport, where they will then be doxxed and their families will be doxxed and harassed and yada, 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 yada? Why do you think that is? I have a sneaking suspicion, and I want to see how many people agree with me. I think it's because Trump is a massive fucking retard who has completely abandoned the idea of doing mass deportations and is slowly going to walk back his support of ICE until the Republicans ultimately vote to defund it. I think it's basically because Trump is a massive fucking retard. And yeah, he's more concerned with public image, which means ultimately this will lead to ICE not existing anymore. And there will be no mass deportations, and Trump will have gone back on every campaign promise in regards to this. 1 in the chat if you think I'm onto something. 2 in the chat if you think I'm crazy. 1 in the chat if you think I might be onto something with the Trump is a massive retard theory. 2 in the chat if you think I'm crazy and Trump is really smart and he's playing 4D chess or whatever the fuck. Yep. Trump is a retard. Confirmed.
He knows what a PR disaster this is for him. He knows that he can't attract more negative attention. So he's telling them, don't be masked. Now, if they don't need to be masked at airports, they don't need to be asked anywhere. They don't need to be masked anywhere. That would be the normal standard operating procedure for law enforcement agencies. So, Laura, I 1,000% agree with you. And it's one of the reasons why I'm happy, at least on the ICE front, that Democrats in the Senate are standing strong. They are not currently giving on ICE. We need to see the same level of unified opposition on Border Patrol as well. And I think Democrats should continuously, from now until it gets funded, say, we will vote for TSA funding. We will vote for TSA funding. We will vote for TSA funding. It is Donald Trump and Republicans who are refusing to fund the TSA. And the reason why they are causing your line at the airport to stretch on for hours and hours and hours is because they want to fund their secret police force to the hilt. And unless we give them more money for their goon squad, they are going to cause you harm. That is not my characterization. That is not my editorial. That is what is happening right now. And Democrats should not fracture under the weight of that threat. They should stand firm because it is both the right thing to do and it is politically strategic. So, Laura, this is our message. And I would advise everybody with a Democratic senator to be calling them and asking them to stand firm. And I would advise you, if you've got a Republican senator or a Republican representative, to call them and say, what the hell are you doing, in the nicest way possible? Fund TSA. Take the Democrats up on their offer. If you need to squabble over Border Patrol and ICE, fine. Leave that off the table. But everybody should agree that TSA should be funded. Stop playing politics with my airport lines. Leah, the 100%. Next question from Eric from Orchard City Indivisible. I think largely we covered already about the attempt to disrupt the midterm elections. Is there anything else we want to say about everybody who could be involved in this, from DOJ to DHS to agitators, possibly DOD, state secretaries of state, Department of Elections, local sheriff's office, police departments? How are we thinking about the whole orchestra of election subversion that we could witness come November?
Yeah. So I think this is a topic that regularly people find a little bit overwhelming, in part because there's just so many variations of threat and there's so many locations where it could play out. And what I would recommend for folks is you can drive yourself pretty crazy coming up with all of the different scenarios and ways that they might mess with elections. And there are people who are working on all of those aspects, right? Like there is a great set of organizations that are going to be suing the Trump.
Honestly, Trump probably missed one of the most golden opportunities he could have ever had to say, you know, why don't we just get rid of the TSA? Why don't we just acknowledge that that this system is not working? It really never has worked all that well. They don't even get most of the shit that's brought through. Like the TSA is mostly a bunch of low IQ retards, mostly fucking black and brown people that just make people's lives unnecessarily difficult. We're gonna figure out something else, some other way to deal with the whole, you know, we don't want people to get on planes that blow up or nothing, but we're gonna figure out a better way to deal with this. And maybe we could just get rid of the TSA and start over. I mean, I feel like it would have been a really great opportunity. I mean, I'm not saying cut the cord on TSA right away, but maybe if people have TSA pre-check, maybe that could be some sort of way to, like, you know, move some people through quickly and you know, like make the lines better, privatize the whole fucking thing. I don't know what the solution is. Come up with some sort of transitionary mechanism. But Trump missed a golden opportunity to say, you know what, like, this sucks. It's always sucked. Everyone agrees that it sucks. No one likes the fucking TSA. Can we just get rid of it and maybe phase it out and do something else?
Administration 6 ways from Saturday, from now through the election, to try to head off all kinds of efforts to suppress and sabotage the vote. There are state tables and state coalitions that are going to be active around election protection in the places where we are at risk. We're going to be plugging in directly with them so that we're actually really making sure that we are connected on the ground in the places where the threat is biggest. And part of the reason why that's important is because my full expectation is that by September and October,
if I'm going to be honest, I have been sexually assaulted by TSA twice, and it really fucking pissed me off both times. I've had my fucking, literally my pussy grabbed by TSA twice. And that's some fucking bullshit. That is some rapey ass fucking bullshit. Like, it's not okay, man. It's not fucking okay.
Dealing with a lot of different bad things happening at the same time, and it's going to be sort of chaotic to try to make sense of all of them, versus to say, let's get the best possible operations at the state level, at the district level, that are pushing back wherever they need to be doing work. And then let's figure out at the national level how we make as much noise as possible to push back. Because fundamentally, all of the different threats really can be broken down into two big buckets. One is what we already talked about, right, is the sending of federal forces into communities with an aim to suppress the vote, right? So that is the deployment of ICE to a congressional district with a large Latino population that is a flippable district, with the aim of suppressing the vote such that you're not going to be able, you know, so that they can get the result that they want. There's that kind of like frontal deployment of ICE or CBP. That's one category. The other is collusion between state, local officials, judges,
Okay, I just want to do a quick time check. Okay. There is about 10 minutes left of this presentation. We are going to finish this presentation, and I'm just going to ask you guys, do you want me to keep streaming? And do you want the stream later where we're going to do fun content? One in the chat if you want me to keep streaming after we finish this presentation. We got another thing we can watch. We can do a fun content stream later where we're watching Owen Schroyer talk about UFOs and all sorts of stuff. One in the chat if you want me to keep streaming about this and potentially do a fun content stream after this when we get done this. You want that to happen? You guys want that to happen? Okay. We need to meet our channel membership goal. Can I interest everyone who wants me to keep streaming? And I will keep streaming for like several hours after this. I'm going to give you guys a lot of fucking content. Can we meet our channel membership goal before the end of this presentation? We have 10 minutes to meet the channel membership goal. We need like 32 more memberships. Grimm's already in with 5. W's in the chat for Grimm. Already in with the 5er. Love it. Now we are up to 22, no, 27. I can't do math. Cynthia's in with 5. W's to Cynthia in the chat. W's to Cynthia. Okay, now we're really up to 22. We need 22 more channel memberships. I'm going to give you guys until the end of this video to meet the channel membership goal. Of course, we will do W's to everyone who donates channel memberships. We need like 5 people to give 5 channel memberships, or 4 people to give 5 and someone else to give 2. I don't know. Like, you guys can do the math. We need 22 more. If one person gives 20 channel memberships and another person gives 5, we are at the goal. Kazmar is in with 5. W. Kazmar. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We now need 4 more people to give 5 channel memberships to meet the goal. Let me see. That's 83. I'm having to do fucking math in my head. Little less than that, actually. So, oh, we got one from Respectfully. Hey, thanks, Respectfully. Old W's to you. Appreciate it. W's. Let's see. Did we get another one? Yo, Fosnots! Everyone, W's for Fosnots. Fosnots took it. Cynthia also came in with another 5, but W's to Fosnots. Fosnots came in with a big swinging dick of the chat today. Fosnots, thank you for the 20 channel memberships. We also have Cynthia with another 5, our queen, our patron. Thank you, Cynthia. All right. I will keep streaming. Okay, you guys got me. Thank you. I appreciate all of you. You guys rock. Thank you for allowing me to do this. Yo, we got Liberty with a gifted channel membership. W's, Liberty. Thank you so much, giving us up to an even 110. Now, you guys can keep contributing if you want to, but I keep my promises. I said that once we met the goal, I would not bug you guys anymore, and I will keep that goal. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Friendly judges, etc., with the Trump administration to subvert an election, rig an election, manipulate the count pre or post-election. All of that is going to have to be coordinated first and foremost and driven at the state level by people who are going to know the specific context, and we're going to be supporting that. And also, we're going to collectively be throwing in and making a massive national ruckus about it the entire time. So the short answer is, we are going to be working throughout the election cycle to make sure that you are hooked up with the most effective and important actions that you can take if you are in a place where there is a real threat. And also, please do not ignore the work that you are currently doing to build power, because when it comes to it, when we're all going to have to throw in nationally, you know, the people that you've gotten out through the No Kings protests, the power that we have collectively built, that is the thing that we will bring to bear to push back together.
Allison asks, I am concerned that Donald the Terrible will do a major military strike in or near Iran right when No Kings is going on to knock us out of the headlines and distract from focusing on celebrating resistance and uniting for democracy. If this happens, is there a plan of action for responding in real time, or should we ignore any diversionary activities until after the rally? I don't think this is, or something similar is out of the question. If folks will recall, after the protests last year in October, Donald Trump was so pissed off that so many people showed up nonviolently that he posted this video of him flying a plane and dropping literal shit on protesters around the country. He doesn't like this. He doesn't like the attention we're getting. He doesn't like that it makes him look small and weak. He doesn't like that it makes the country look like it's not behind him. It's a threat to his power. That's what this is. So it would not surprise me if he engages in some behavior using the tools of the White House to distract. That is just a reality. What I would say is the single best thing we can do in response to anything this regime is doing is organize ourselves into be the big.
Don't give away the secret. Don't give away the secret.
Biggest, boldest, nonviolent organized protest in American history. That will carry the day. And I don't think we should change behavior or cancel protests because Donald Trump is doing really anything from the White House. This day is really not about him. This day is about us and how many communities show up in defense of our First Amendment rights and democracy. Leah, do you have thoughts of, like, if they engage in any kind of weird behavior intended to
listen. Whatnot is one of the happiest places on the internet. If I can adopt some of the things they use on Whatnot to make this a happy place on the internet instead of a dystopian, miserable place where we're depressed all the time, if I can adopt some of those strategies to give people joy and make people feel good about contributing, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. You want to know why? Because Whatnot is one of the happiest fucking places on the internet, and it's okay. It's okay to be inspired by things. All right.
To distract or disrupt the protests going on, what folks should do?
I mean, look, fundamentally, if they attempt to distract and disrupt, what we do is we make sure that doesn't work, right? Like if there is major military action between now and No Kings, you make an anti-war sign and you post on Facebook and say, hey, let's show up to stop the war to get as many more people out, right? Because fundamentally, we're out there to say no to imperious, unaccountable governance and to violence in our names at home and abroad. And so I would say, it's not only, it may well be his intention to try to take the headlines off, but it's our intention to create the biggest possible opposition to his regime. And so we will continue to do that.
Folks who are not listening, but who are, or folks who aren't watching, but who are listening wouldn't see this, but right behind me, we've got John Lewis on the wall. And Lee and I talked about going down to Selma a few weeks ago. Part of the purpose of nonviolent organized protest is to show people, as Ash was saying, that there are more of us than there are of them, that make visible that democracy is going to reassert itself.
Hey, old sub. Thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Let's see here. Let's see. I saw that. It looks like you had a glass of like whiskey or something, bro. Oh, that looks really awesome. I hope everyone gets a chance to see what he's doing. Old sub is posting a lot of great pictures from the road. We really appreciate you, bro. Thanks so much for stopping by and sending in a super chat. And I really do appreciate the super thanks that you left on my video yesterday. You rule. Really appreciate you.
Something that often happens when you're engaged in organized nonviolent protests, for instance, with John Lewis marching across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, is you've got the Selma Sheriff, Jim Clark, out there who tries to disrupt you, who tries to stop you. That's often what authoritarians do in response to protests. They want to distract, they want to disrupt.
Oh, don't think I haven't thought about
the
this.
goal when you're organizing these nonviolent protests is to organize more people who see the regime doing what they're doing and say, well, I don't like that. I might not have been with the protest, but I don't like that. And then get them into your movement. Donald Trump is not in control here, y'all. He is not. He is flailing. We are the ones in control. All of us are organizing. That's where the power is.
They know
and
it.
we shouldn't act as if he's got power that he doesn't have. He doesn't. He's weak. He's going down. And we're going to be the ones that...
They know they're winning, guys. This is not just bluster. They know they're winning. They know that Trump is losing. They know that they're winning. They know that they are winning the argument on ICE. They've been talking about this for months and months and months. They are very clear on it. They feel like they have all the momentum.
Ensure that he loses his power electorally and then faces actual consequences. Not just him, but him and all of the allies that are implementing his illegal and often unconstitutional policy agenda across the country right now. That's coming, and we're doing it, and No Kings is part of making that happen. Got a question from Sabrina. And I know, Leah, we're a bit over time, but let's try to get through a couple more because we went long with Ash. Sabrina asks, will Indivisible National include those who are protesting virtually in the total number of those who protest for No Kings 3? This is a good question. It kind of hits on this, the art and science of crowd counting. I don't know, Sabrina, whether the team that is going to try to do a very quick count of the folks who are out there, if they're also going to include the virtual protesters. It's a good question. I don't want to give you the wrong answer. I suspect that for the purposes of saying how many people are out at protests physically, we wouldn't count them because we don't want to juice up the stats beyond what reality is. But I do think it's a good point that we should be characterizing how many people are engaged, however they can engage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's a good flag, Sabrina. I appreciate the question.
Yep.
Leah, Jeff's question was about the DHS funding bill, how we feel about it. Mm-hmm. I think we've covered this pretty well at this point. The DHS funding bill is in the air. Now is the time for folks to be pushing their electeds to not support any funding for Border Patrol, not support any funding for ICE.
Yep.
Maybe let's end then, Leah, on this question about the 3.5%. Cheryl asks, do the people that can't attend No Kings but are definitely part of the movement still count as part of the 3.5%? People that provide mutual aid, protest regularly at smaller events, contact elected regularly.
The 3.5% is essentially they're trying to get 3.5% of the public mobilized against Trump because they think that's a critical mass to basically defeat anything Trump wants to do.
They do voter registration, etc. That's Cheryl in Pasadena, California, member of San Gabriel Foothills Indivisible. Great question, Cheryl. And I think it hits on some of the strategic logic of 3.5%. In fact, what we're doing for No Kings. Leah, do you want to tackle it?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, when we talk about 3.5%, we are not talking about it in the sense of if we get a full 3.5% of the American population out on a single day, we have fixed it, and there is a magical, button that we all push that solves fascism in this country.
Leah, what is 3.5%?
Oh, that's a great question. Right. So 3.5% is a phrase that we sometimes use as shorthand, but it refers to a finding by major academics Erica Chenoweth and Maria Stephan, who are regular friends of Indivisible, that finds that movements that reach a threshold activation of 3.5% of the population engaged in nonviolent protest have not historically throughout history succeeded overwhelmingly. There are a couple of asterisks to that, but that's the basic finding. And it's taken on a certain kind of mythic status within our movement, right? Can we get to 3.5%? And we talk about it pretty regularly. The important caveat that they would be sure to offer if they were here is it's not about one day. It's not about, getting everybody out on a single day and taking action. It is about moving people into an ongoing cycle of local engagement, civic activism, being in relation in their communities and capable of acting together. And so I would absolutely say people who are showing up at other protests, people who are providing mutual aid, people who are consistently part of that ongoing engaged cycle are 100% part of the 3.5%. And in fact, part of the goal of a No Kings protest is actually to convert some people who are maybe just showing up for the first time at No Kings into that regular ongoing engagement. Because that is an important part of the cycle. We're actually going to be having an event tonight training with.
That's why the best identity that you can have for tomorrow, if you choose to engage with people, is it's my first time. I've never been in something like this before. I just don't know. I just don't like what Trump is doing and da-da-da. That's what they want the first timers. They are trying to get you from the top of the funnel of going to one event into getting to the next event.
Posts around what comes next after No Kings, but a really big emphasis that we want to ask people who are doing their own organizing to have is to have a what's next event in your town that invites people who maybe showed up for the first time to No Kings to continue their organizing with you, right? Walk through what you do locally that they can get involved in, because fundamentally we want people to show up and we want as many people as possible. But what we really, really want is for those people to have that be the first step of their entry point into activism rather than a one-off event that they went to.
You look at the work that went on in the Twin Cities earlier this year. It was not just people showing up at a protest. It was people, as you know, Cheryl, people doing mutual aid, people supporting their neighbors, people grabbing groceries and delivering them. I want to make very clear, if you want to be part of this movement, you can be part of this movement. This is a role for you. You have a skill set, you have capabilities that you can bring to this movement. Many of us are going to show up at No Kings in person. Some of us are going to host. Some of us are going to recruit. Some of us are going to make graphics. Some of us are going to speak. Some of us are going to do the lineup. Some of us are going to get the events together. Some of us are going to plan what comes next. There is stuff for you to do. So I want to be clear. This movement is welcome to everybody. And in fact, we need you. We need you to be part of this. This is how you get to 3.5% of the population. Is by welcoming people in, figuring out what they want and are able to contribute, and then getting that. That's how we get to the capacity that we need. And I think that's a good note to end on, Leah. So what is the plan? What did we go over here today? Just to review.
All right. Here's what I want to do. I think we're No Kings out. Does everyone feel good and prepared to go to No Kings tomorrow? Is everyone ready? Guys, as a reminder, if you want to join my team of volunteers going to the No Kings protest tomorrow, what I need you to do tonight is I need you to watch the Infiltrating the Left video, the training video that I gave. I need you to follow the explicit instructions in the video to email me at a certain address with certain information, or to DM me at a certain place with certain information. And I need you to follow those instructions explicitly tonight. And I will be replying to everyone at some point, possibly much later tonight, with a link to the Center for Left-Wing Studies Discord. And there's nothing secret in the Discord that you're going to get access to. But after you go to the event tomorrow, that is where we're going to do our debrief. Do not post in the Discord until after You go to the event tomorrow. You can get verified. You can get into it and all that stuff. I will verify people tonight if I'm still up. I will verify people tomorrow, like whenever. But like, if I verify you before tomorrow, do not post anything in the Discord before you go to the event. Post after, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing. If you haven't yet watched the video, you still have time to do it. But here's what we're going to do now. I am going to shut down this stream. I think we've got enough No Kings content. I feel pretty good about it. I really appreciate you guys meeting the channel membership goal. That's awesome. I am going to go get some food because I haven't eaten yet today. And so I'm going to go get a quick dinner. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to watch some fun content about Owen Schroyer talking about aliens and Josh Hammer being a dick at CPAC. And if you guys have stuff you want me to watch, we can watch some other fun content for a little while too. Like, we can decompress now. We've done our prep work. We've done our prep and now we can decompress. Okay. So give me like half an hour or so. By 9 p.m., like at the latest, I'm going to go get a little food. I have to make it in the air fryer and everything. I'm having stuffed mushrooms with like pico and guac, and it's going to be fucking awesome and very low carb. And I will be back in like less than an hour and we'll do our fun stream. Okay. Does that sound good to everyone? Does that sound good? 1 in the chat if that sounds good. 2 in the chat if you, whatever. It doesn't really matter if you like it or not. That's what I'm going to do. I am the leader of this channel. I can do whatever I want. I am at the top of the hierarchy. I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to go get some dinner because I haven't eaten yet. You guys don't want me to be hangry on the screen. I promise you. And then I'm going to come back and watch fun content with you guys later. Okay. That's what we're going to do. Whoa, I just got real big. That's what we're going to do. Everyone you can go get some booze. I say I can't drink anymore. Can't drink. It's over. I haven't had alcohol in months. God, when I do drink again, I'm going to get drunk real fast. I'll tell you that. Okay, guys, I am going to go get some food. I'll be back later. Take care, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for super chats. Thanks for channel memberships. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Thank you for allowing me to do what I do. I'll be back in like 30 minutes. Okay. See you guys soon.
How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
I'm not clear. How is it that playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital?
That's difficult to answer.